And I'm Nico Romano, and we're asking people how they're celebrating this year and how much they're willing to spend.
What are your Valentine's Day plans this year?
I'm actually going to Ireland.
Considering going to Vegas.
We're going to dinner and we're going to a concert in the Bronx.
She's expecting a ring.
Nothing. Nothing, we're single.
Yes, for sure.
What's your ideal Valentine's Day date? Nice to meet you. So she's the love of your life?
Yes.
He's the lover?
Maybe like a nice couples massage or something.
I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, so take out on the couch with a good movie.
I mean, a dinner and a nice gift is always appropriate.
So Valentine's Day can get pretty expensive. So what do you think is the maximum that people should spend?
That's a good question. It depends. Maybe like 200.
Some people are happy with a bouquet of flowers and others like a very expensive bag.
I wouldn't spend more than like $50, I guess.
What's your budget?
I would say maybe 150. Yeah. $100 lunch today, and then the day's not even over.
I'm married, so it's kind of different. We don't really have a cap.
Who do you think should pay?
If I'm on a date, like with a man? A man. Oh, him.
It's always been, man.
I mean, I hope my husband pays, but we'll see.
One red flag and one green flag in dating.
Red flag would be someone who doesn't budget.
Green flag if she likes Star Wars.
What are some red flags you've seen?
If they're really right-winged, if they're not feminist.
I cannot stand right-wing guys. I can't tell you guys enough.
Sort of the mood changes.
The mood changes.
Yeah.
A green flag if they watch Newsmax, of course, right?
Of course, yeah. Newsmax.
What is the worst Valentine's Day gift you've ever gotten?
It actually was a little rose inside of a glass. No, I didn't like it.
Are you going to be getting a gift this year, or is it too expensive with rising costs?
Giving her a really expensive gift.
Oh, okay. Tell us more. Love this.
I hope she doesn't see this on the news, but ruined my plans, but yeah, I'm proposing.
You're proposing.
If someone were to come up to you in the city streets and ask you, hey, could you be my Valentine's today? How would you like them to ask you that question?
I wouldn't want anyone to ask me that question randomly on the street.
You single? Can I be your Valentine? Can you be my Valentine?
Of course.
Oh, you're beautiful.
The question. He was cute. You know, I was just trying.
Happy Valentine's Day!
That was awesome.
I love these men on the streets. I think they're hilarious and a good way to understand the population.
Exactly. I mean, so many different people. Some people said cap. Some people said, a lot of different things.
Yes.
But, I'm fortunate to actually have found someone who doesn't like Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And you know what? Just because she's not expecting anything, I want to give her the world.
That's always a nice sentiment. It's really...
Sister, discover God's purpose in every season and shine. Watch Season to Shine, a new inspiring program for women, here on theDove TV.
That's
Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Happy Friday. Dun, da, da.
Yeah.
We have made it to Friday. It took us 4 days to get here, but we finally made it.
We crawled in. Yeah.
All right. Good morning to you. Happy Friday. A lot going on in the news. I'm proud to hold up the Salvation Army ringy-dingy bell.
Yeah, we've been getting some inquiries about this. How did you do?
Well, what's interesting? We received this award yesterday. So this is the third year in a row that we rang the bell for Salvation Army during Christmas time over here at Fred Meyer. And so they have a day where all the media people come and compete.
Right. Yeah.
Ringy-dingy. So we raised them a little over $1,500 an hour.
Whoa.
And so what was interesting about that is that we beat the other ones that were there longer than us. And here's the other thing, the miracle. And I just want to say to our listening and viewing audience, you guys are the best, because I kept promoting the wrong Friday.
Wrong day, yeah.
And I had it a week later. And so the week of, I get the call from the major, and he says, it's this Friday. No, it was from Sherry. And goes, it's this Friday. I go, oh, no. And that was Thursday.
I remember, yeah. Yeah.
So I had Thursday and Friday morning to correct it.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we went out there and anyway, rang the bell, and you folks came out. Some people were waiting for us to get there.
All right.
So that they can contribute.
Nice.
Now listen, I want to say something about Salvation Army. They're just top drawer. Everything they do to help people, their success record, feeding people, helping people, housing people, giving the gospel. It's all done from the love of God. They are first class operation, doing a great job. So we got this little plaque too that says,
how cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And we raised $3,073.46 in 2 hours.
Nice.
Not bad.
That's great.
You know.
Oh,
so,
man.
Anyway, everybody laughed. I did. I laughed too. I said, we actually did it. I couldn't believe that, 'cause we really messed up on that deal.
Congratulations.
So
that's so good.
One other thing about today. Today, Monday is going to be President's Day, so a lot of people have the day off. So look behind us here. Do you have that? There it is. It's coming. There it is.
Oh. Yeah.
So there's Mount Rushmore.
All right.
All right, Jerry.
Okay. Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, Lincoln.
Ta-da! You did it.
Absolutely. Been there, done that too.
Oh, you been there?
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to go there.
Oh, it's awesome. Yep.
Is it true you can walk around behind all that stuff?
I never have.
Can you go in there and make Lincoln blink?
I don't think so. There's supposed to be like a vault or something on the other side.
Yeah.
But there's no pathway there.
Well, they were thinking about Reagan on this far side of Lincoln.
Right. Where was Trump going to go?
Well, first of all,
here's Trump's.
No. No, the mountain's not big enough for his hair. So.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't think, he probably thinks he belongs up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
This is cool.
But they were thinking about Reagan on the end of Lincoln there. So
all right.
I don't know. They maybe ought to give Trump that little one over there. See, way over in the Gordy.
Oh, yeah.
But when you stop and think about how Mount Rushmore was made, it is pretty remarkable.
It is. Yeah, you'd never see this done again.
No.
Except there is a Crazy Horse monument going on not far from this.
Yeah.
But it's a privately funded deal. But yeah, you'll never see this again.
All right, so there you go. Don't forget, that's President's Day.
That's cool, man.
You guys can have that again on Monday. Okay, and then don't forget, guys, tomorrow is, take a look here.
Woohoo!
You have it there? There it is.
There it is.
Tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
Yep.
I just thought I'd let you guys know tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
Remember now, I went in on Valentine's Day one year. I was in the store shopping on Valentine's Day for a Valentine's Day card, and another dude was next to me. He was doing the same thing, and a gal came walking through who worked at the store. And as she went by us, in her disgust, she went, "Oh, you guys are late." And I said, "No, we're not. Tomorrow's late."
Yeah. It reminds me of the late Leon Hunsaker. He'd always go Christmas shopping for Margaret on Christmas Eve.
Really?
She had the greatest collection of mannequins than anybody, because that's all that was left in the store.
Well,
anyway, don't forget tomorrow's Valentine's Day. All right, good morning to you. What do you got?
Well, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and today is Galentine's Day.
Oh.
Yeah, that's when women get together to celebrate each other every year on the day before Valentine's Day. So enjoy that. It's also National No One Eats Alone Day, organized by students for students. Middle schools across the nation will look beyond differences and find ways to start conversations at lunchtime with everyone. So no one eats alone. And you know what? There is a kind of a cafeteria pecking order, isn't there? The cool kids sit at one table. The not-so-cool kids sit at another table. And then stragglers sit around at tables, sometimes by themselves.
Yeah.
And,
it's amazing how that happens.
It is. I remember when my parents uprooted us and moved us from the hinterland, from North Dakota, from the farmland to Central California. And I remember the very first day of school in the junior high school, I was in 8th grade, I went in. First period was band. And I was a band guy, you know.
Yeah.
I played an instrument. I played trombone. And so I sat down and I met a couple people in the trombone section.
Yeah.
So we started talking a little bit, you know. And so I went and I'm finding my way around the school, and lunchtime comes. I don't know a soul. So I come walking into the lunchroom, and I can see it right away. There's the cool kids over there, you know, da-da-da. And then here's a table with some faces familiar, and they go, "Hey, Jerry, come on and sit with us." It was the band kids that I wanted. And all of a sudden, I was at a table. And you know what? That makes a big difference. When you're invited in, you're the new kid on the block. And so with that in mind, on No One Eats Alone Day, see if you can do the same for somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one eats alone day.
No one eats, and when you're eating,
I kept sitting at Peggy's table.
Yeah, I bet you did. And she said, "You know, I was at the other table the other day. Now you're over here with me. Now I moved tomorrow, and you'll be at that table." Oh, it worked though, huh?
It worked.
Did you buy her lunch?
Oh gosh. Well, see, that was high school, so
yeah.
We left campus for lunch.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, we had this little hot dog. We had two places we went to. The main one was an A&W stand.
Okay, all right, yeah.
You can still go there for a couple of bucks, you know. Not today, but anyway.
Yeah, well, we used to go to Taylor's hot dog stand.
There you go.
Quarter for a hot dog.
There you go.
Really good stuff. So it is No One Eats Alone Day, and then when you eat, put some cheddar cheese on it, because it is National Cheddar Cheese Day. This food celebration requires very little effort. The only thing you need to do is add cheddar cheese to anything and everything that your heart desires. Its cheesy history dates back at least 1,000 years, with origins pointing to southwestern England during the 12th century in the village of Cheddar.
Oh, really?
In Somerset, yes. Now, the village of Cheddar is home to the Cheddar Gorge, which contains several massive limestone caves. Local farmers discovered that these caves provided the perfect constant temperature and humidity for aging cheese. There is historical records written in 1170 claiming that King Henry II was such a fan of the aged cheddar that he purchased 10,200 pounds of it for a penny per pound. Later, King Charles I was known to have the cheese pre-ordered before it was even made.
How come cows and goats don't get the credit for cheese? What a question. Well, why do the cheesemakers get it?
Yeah.
Why don't the cows and the goats get it?
That's right. Where would you be without cows and goats?
Yeah.
Good question. Enjoy your cheddar.
Wow. Good stuff all the way around. All right. Well, listen, here's a guy that's kind of cheesy. Right here, he does the weather.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain, then rain in the late afternoon with daytime highs in the upper 40s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, with lows tonight in the low 40s. Moving down the Willamette Valley, a chance of rain, then rain after 4 p.m. with high temperatures near 50 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 51 in Eugene with early patchy fog. Mostly cloudy skies today over central Oregon with daytime high temperatures in the low 50s for Prineville and mid to upper 40s in Bend and Sun River. Patchy fog, then mostly sunny and low 50s in Boise, Idaho. Along the Oregon coast, rain likely with daytime highs near 54 in Coos Bay and Port Orford, a chance of rain in near 52 in Brookings, and a slight chance of drizzle in mid-50s in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, patchy fog in the Rogue Valley, then mostly cloudy and low to mid-50s for Grants Pass and Medford, partly sunny in mid-50s in Ashland, and patchy fog, then partly sunny and 51 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, patchy fog, then partly sunny in mid-50s in Wairika, mostly sunny and low to mid-60s in Redding and Chico, early patchy fog in Sacramento, then mostly sunny with a high near 63. In the Bay Area, patchy dense fog in Santa Rosa and Napa, then mostly sunny and low to mid-60s. Mostly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61. And patchy fog, then sunny in San Jose with a high near 64. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, thank you, Grange Co-op. And there's a picture of our valley. Clouds coming in over the top. And we could see this system start tomorrow. You know, and it could go for a whole week.
Man. Yeah.
You were saying that you had inside
information,
inside intelligence.
Yes.
That if this storm does what it's supposed to do, that the Big A could open up next weekend.
Yeah, they're looking and hoping, but they're planning on a full month of operations for the month of March. How about that? So you need stuff now. We've been getting some shots earlier in the week where we see some snow up in the top of the hill, but obviously we need a little bit more. But you know the only hiccup up there right now, Perry?
Yeah, your right leg.
What am I doing?
Nothing. I'm just pointing at your right leg. That's the hiccup down there.
Well, that may even be more than a hiccup.
It's almost been a year.
It has been a year, almost next month. Yes, March 21st.
You broke your leg.
I shattered. Pam will correct you. I shattered my tibia and my fibula, so I had what's called a tib-fib shatter, and in multiple pieces and separation. So it's like we didn't just fracture bones. We shattered them, and then they separated, and it's like, okay, now we have to screw things back together because they're not going to heal.
So when they finally found you on the mountain, they gave you something.
They didn't give me on the mountain. They gave me at the bottom of the mountain.
Okay.
I was like, can you get this toboggan down there any quicker? Without, yeah, anyway.
So they gave you, and then they got you in the ambulance and they gave you something.
They did. Boy, did they.
They got you to the ER, they gave you something.
Yeah, baby.
Then he calls me. So I'm talking to the space cadet. Hello, Jerry. Hey, Barry. I had a little accident on the hill there. I think I'm going to be okay. See you Monday.
You know what was even weirder?
What?
I have a son, and I have a son who's in law enforcement.
Yeah.
And he was the guy that actually rescued me. I called him. He got ski patrol up to me because I was in a storm and I was next to a closed section in the trees. Yeah. Anyway, so he caught up.
Wasn't supposed to be.
Right. Well, no, come on, man. So anyway, he catches up because he was working.
Yeah.
And so he's in uniform. He's in the squad car, and so he catches up. We get down to Asante and we roll into the emergency, and I'm feeling no pain.
Yeah.
I'm none, literally. And so I'm sitting there, and he's in uniform next to me, and everybody in the emergency.
Oh, they thought you were a criminal?
Yeah, they're looking at me like, what? And I'm talking, having a good time, because I'm not feeling any pain.
Yeah.
So they roll me into a room. He gets a call. He says, Dad, I have to take this. He leaves.
Yeah.
And a guy comes in, a nurse comes in, and he goes, is everything okay?
Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm pretty sure it's broken.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, law enforcement. I said, no, that's my son. He goes, oh, wow. He says, that's the weirdest vibe we've ever had here.
Yeah.
When patients come in with police officers with them, they're going to jail as soon as they're And he says, you're talking like you don't have a care in the world.
Well, you didn't.
I didn't. I was feeling no pain.
You called me, and you was having your own, zombie party.
I called you?
Yes, you did. Perry had a little accident. Yeah. Anyway, so much for all that.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
All right.
Oh, we digress. Let's get on to something that looking forward here.
Yeah.
It's the Reverend Billy Graham revealing Jesus's greatest legacy.
And the greatest legacy that Christ left us was his peace. He said, my peace I give unto you. Think of the serenity with which Jesus Christ moved in his life. He wasn't hurrying about here and there like we do. He seemed to take time with everybody. He only had 3 years. He could have fed all the hungry people in the world. With one wave of his arm, he could have stopped all the wars, but he didn't do it. That wasn't God's plan. God's plan was that he would go to the cross and take your sins. You see, God couldn't be just and just forgive you. God couldn't come along and pat you on the back and say, Jim, Bill, Susie, Mary, I forgive you. I know you've broken my law and you've sinned. You see, to us, sin seems trivial. It doesn't seem serious. But in God's sight, it's deadly serious. It means eternal death. It means judgment. God is a just God, absolutely just. Somebody had to bear the punishment. Somebody had to spend the time in the prison. Someone had to suffer the pangs of hell and judgment. And Jesus Christ stepped out and said, I will.
Yeah,
wow.
What a truth.
Yeah.
All right, good morning to you. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. And there's a lot going on there. And Well, it looks like we are heading for another government shutdown. They can't figure out the Homeland Security Department funding, and the Ds don't want to fund ICE primarily.
Is this the new method of negotiating on the D side? Let's just shut the government down?
This is the only thing they got.
Yeah.
So what has happened here is, you remember the appropriations bills got through. There was 12 of them. 11 got through, and the 12th one, which has to do with funding of Homeland Security, that didn't get through because of ICE, and the Ds were, yelling and screaming about that. So they put it into what they call a CR, continuing resolution, for 14 days, and the 14 days is up. So they hear all these testimonies about everything, and the Ds decide just, we're going to walk out. So I don't know what happens. Now, this is, again, quote unquote, a partial shutdown. I don't know what parts are shut down and what parts aren't. Think about that. So we go into this shutdown. Monday's normally a holiday anyway, because it's President's Day. So I don't know. I don't know where this is going to go, how it's going to end up. They're going to try to give and take. And the bill was rejected 52-47. They need 60 votes in the Senate to pull this off. So they're way, way off. Okay, we'll see where that goes, but here we go again, folks. These are your elected government officials telling you how you should live when they can't even live within their own means. This is just crazy.
Yes, good point.
The biggest story yesterday was the president comes out with the EPA administrator, Lee Zeldin, and announced one of the biggest drawbacks and rejections ever.
Amazing, yes.
The biggest one in the history of the United States.
Yes.
So here's a little update on that one.
And it's an honor to be here with a terrific person who's worked so hard on this, and some other terrific people. Thank you very much. But I'm pleased to be joined today by EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, who you all know, and to announce the single largest deregulatory action in American history. That's a big statement, in American history, and I think we can add the words "by far." Under the process just completed by the EPA, we are officially terminating the so-called endangerment finding, a disastrous Obama-era policy that severely damaged the American auto industry and massively drove up prices for American consumers. Prices went up incredibly for a worse product. This action will eliminate over $1.3 trillion of regulatory costs and help bring car prices tumbling down dramatically. You're going to get a better car. You're going to get a car that starts easier, a car that works better for a lot less money. In 2009, Barack Hussein Obama, his EPA designated fossil fuels such as oil, gas, and other things that actually make factories rock and roll and other things drive very nicely as a threat to health and human welfare, known as the endangerment finding. This determination had no basis, in fact, had none whatsoever, and it had no basis in law. On the contrary, over the generations, fossil fuels have saved millions of lives and lifted billions of people out of poverty and all over the world.
Well, anyway, the EPA has been completely reorganized, and all of these things that were put on top of the American people by all these little titles they give them, they give them these funny little titles, all that's been withdrawn. Now, what I don't know about this, is this only for the term of the president?
That's a great question.
And so I don't know that.
And is it possible, if it's not, if it's intended to stay, is it easy for another president to come in now and wipe it away and reinstitute all of these regulations?
Well, we'll see. But like most things, it takes a while to bring them into effect and it takes a while to get them out of effect.
Yeah.
But this is a huge setback. So basically what the president's doing here, and the whole environmental, gosh, this is really crazy. You get in trouble here. You got to use the right words.
I know.
But the whole environmental, clean air, all this stuff movement ended up being, under climate change, ended up being a scam.
Yeah.
And so we're good conservation. I'm strong in conservation.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
That's stewardship.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the other part of it is that we've also proven that when we do something right, we fix it. And we have really cleaned up a lot of air. Yeah. There is no other country that has responded to the climate change issues like the United States has, and yet they want to continue to tax us so that other countries can get a pass.
Absolutely.
Why aren't you leaning on China? Right. Why aren't you leaning on India?
Yes.
Why aren't you? I mean, let's just go on down the list here.
Right.
But it's all the United States. So basically, they pulled the rug.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yep.
All right, the other thing is the SAFE Act and voter integrity and all this and that. The SAFE Act basically means you have to have voter ID, you have to have photo ID to vote, which is, you got to do it to get on an airplane, you got to do it to do a bunch of things, but
get
not
a fishing license, try get it without. Yeah.
And so yesterday, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt really went after former President Obama on this, and basically said President Obama, she really raked him over the coals for encouraging voters and lawmakers to reject adopting the national voter ID law. Yeah. So you have a former president saying this is baloney.
Right.
You got 93. They went from 84 to 93% of Americans want voter ID. You had 213 Democrats in the House day before yesterday voting against it.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing I can say is I don't know if Republicans are smart enough to package that vote and use it in the upcoming midterm elections.
That's key. Yep.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
But anyway, she wailed on the former. You know, I have to say one thing. I watched some of these hearings yesterday. You can tell that the Democrats know how to get under Republican skin and to get them to respond in a very angry way, which makes them look bad.
Yeah.
And I would hope with the frustration of the left's nonsense that the right would project a little bit more statesman control. When you have truth on your side, you don't have to be ugly.
Right. Yeah.
But I watched 3 hearings yesterday a little bit now and then, and I saw some leading people, cabinet members and sitting senators, lose it.
Yeah.
And when they lose it, it ain't pretty.
Nope.
And you know what? When you lose it, you lose it.
Yeah. Yep.
You lose your argument.
You do, yeah. I don't care how right you are. Yeah.
So the other one is Secretary Lucknick talked about yesterday that just listen to these numbers.
Okay.
I think when I say billion, what do you think?
Big. That's big.
Do you calculate the zeros?
Yeah. Oh, no. No, they trail off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$400 billion of pharmaceutical manufacturing coming back to the United States.
Oh, my goodness. Really?
$400 billion. Wow. Of pharmaceutical manufacturing coming back to the United States.
Oh, amazing.
That is, it's heading back to the United States thanks to the administration's policy. And the Commerce Secretary said yesterday that as they discussed it with the news media, so you took EPA and you gutted it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you reached over here and you bring pharmaceutical manufacturing back into the United States. You kind of go, these are numbers you can't process.
Right, right.
The bottom line has to be, it has to be lower drug prices in the United States.
And will they be available on Trump RX?
I don't know.
Yeah, because they've rolled that out now, and there are a whole bunch of offerings on it. I wonder how much of this will appear there and what the prices will look like.
Well, I talked to a pharmacist the other day, one that I know, kind of, an acquaintance, and I said, how much longer are you guys going to be in business? He said, well, these long lines you stand in for now to get your drugs?
Yeah.
If you go to he said, we expect those lines to be cut in half, possibly by the end of the year. And I said, why? Amazon.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, your prescription can be sent to Amazon, and the next day it's in the mailbox, or it's sitting at your door.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay. What are you going to do with that? And my problem I have with that is
quality
control.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and is that another form of, I don't know, I don't want to get
Is
off
it
in
gonna be-
conspiracy theories here.
Oh, I assume that everything will be competitively priced.
With that, and it has to be regulated, you know. So anyway,
Yeah,
it's just the shifting of the times, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of shifting,
They're slifting very slowly these days.
so you're back in your boot.
Yeah, I'm back in my boot. Yeah, you break your hardware, they put you back in the boot, and then they say, "Oh no, we got to operate on you again and take all this titanium out."
Okay,
Like,
I just noticed that won't be until July. So take a number.
You know, I've floated the idea. You know, I don't feel too bad in the cast. You know, the boot is really a cast.
Yeah.
Well, if I put it in a ski boot, would I feel as good?
In your head, it would be, yeah. Yeah. So I went online. I could not find a right leg for you. There wasn't any. They were fresh out.
Oh, thanks, man.
We'll be right back.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
They're fun-loving twins. They love God, hunting, and pranking each other. Join the Hamptons for outdoor adventure every weekend on Twin Factor. Brought to you by Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Truly excellent service.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
Ministries on the Move spotlights how God is using everyday people and organizations to bring light, love, and transformation to others through inspiring conversations and real-life stories. Join me Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on the Dove TV.
All right, there we go. 28 minutes past the hour. A quick backyard story. Just to let you know that Oregon's still, struggling here. We lost another company. A 110-year-old Portland company known as the Sheridan Fruit Company is closing its doors.
Really? Oh.
Now, it'll give you a bunch of reasons why, it gives you all this phony stuff. Bottom line is, it's too expensive. You got too many problems in Portland, and these long companies that have been there for all these years. People don't want to go to these stores. It's a risk for your life to go shopping, And this has been around 110 years. Another loss for Portland.
Wow.
Come on, Portland. Snap out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of what's going on with there. Let's take a look at the satellite image for you this morning. Here's what's going on with the weather in the satellite department as we are seeing a change coming in the weather.
There you go.
And there it is. You can see the system. That there is the one that shows up with clouds today. And look at the one just coming into the picture. See how big that one is?
Yes.
And that is supposed to be a week's worth.
Absolutely. We're looking at showers probably starting tomorrow and going on and off all the way through next Friday.
Here we go.
So we'll see what we accumulate. Well, speaking of accumulation, there's a lot of fraud accumulating in Minnesota, isn't there?
Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness. Well, on Fox Businesses, happening now, Jonathan Turley talked about what he believes is Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison aiding in an open market for fraud.
Well, this is going to be a very important hearing because Minnesota comes out of these reports by the Oversight Committee looking particularly bad. You know, fraud is like water. It finds its way in. And Minnesota appears to be that weakest spot. And fraudsters are rational actors. And you had people like Governor Walz, who's also going to testify, saying publicly how easy it is to create daycares and get grants and money in Minnesota. But it was like an infomercial for fraud. Ellison was the person who was supposed to be monitoring the store, going after people who are committing fraud. And obviously, he failed to do that. Minnesota became a magnet for fraudsters. Now, Ellison's going to face the nightmare of a congressional testimony because there's videotape. And one of those videotapes involves some Somali citizens who are saying, look, we need some political allies. Are you going to be our friend? And some of those groups were later implicated in fraud. And Ellison's on camera saying, darn right, you should be making political contributions and I'm your friend. Well, that's not going to play well when the committee is laying out how this became a sort of, open market for fraud. I mean, you have to have a state that has little more than, it has to have something more than an honor system.
Yes.
And that's not what we're seeing.
Wow. Well, I watched that hearing yesterday. Senator Josh Hawley really went after this guy.
Oh, boy.
Really went after him hard.
Yeah.
And they got in a little bit of a yelling match. But the bottom line is these people are so arrogantly proud of their corruption that they think by pushing back it'll go away. It's making it worse. Here's my only concern. We know there's fraud in Minnesota.
Right.
We know now that it's reaching $19 billion.
Right.
We also know that could be a drop in the bucket when they start uncovering California. Okay. Now they bring the #1 guy in who should have been the doorkeeper of what was going on.
Yeah.
And he sat there and he was just dodging things left and right and yelling back at the senators.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my problem. Will anything happen to him? Will anything happen to Walz? Here we are again, uncovering this stuff, and nothing happens.
Right, yeah.
So if we're not careful, the only thing we do is look virtuous by uncovering bad things, but we never follow through with the justice.
Yeah, there's no teeth. Yeah.
And this guy is obviously a crook.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and he's sitting there yelling back at the senators. Okay, Pam, thank you.
Right.
Respectfully.
Right.
Where is the indictment?
Okay, and so this investigation into the fraud is continuing,
right?
Or so we think, right?
Yeah, it's an investigation. That's the other scapegoat. Well, it's being investigated.
Yeah, when we hear that over and over again, I wonder how long this will take. And, as you mentioned, will anything come of it?
Well,
let's
I'm telling
watch.
you what, when you have something this obvious and nothing happens,
seems to be.
Guess what? It will continue to happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Oh, and by the way, Governor Walz yesterday wants compensation paid back to the companies who lost workers under the ICE operation taking workers away.
That's what we should do. We should trust them with more money. Oh, there you go.
Okay. All right. Happy Friday. Do we have food today?
Do we have food today? No. What? Oh, yeah. What were we eating?
Well, let me declare a day.
Okay, you declare it.
It's See's Candies Day, guy.
Boom.
See's Candies.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Yes. All right.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, barbecue platters, sides, and more. Smoked, grilled, and served to perfection. Sweet Tea Express. Breakfast, burgers, and barbecue.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
Hi, welcome back. The Middle East is also very much in the news these days. A second aircraft carrier is on its way to the Middle East. So you're going to have the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS George H.W. Bush aircraft carrier heading there now. So things are pretty tense over there. Will there be a strike? Who knows? Let's check in with a special report from Chris Mitchell there with Jerusalem Dateline.
The situation continues to be dire inside Iran, with citizens hoping for a military strike to topple the Islamic regime. We spoke with someone who's witnessed the slaughter of protesters in the streets and with an American pastor closely involved with the underground church. Take a look.
Hey everyone, I am Joshua Swanson here in Jerusalem with our Bureau Chief, Chris Mitchell, for CBN News. And today we are joined by Pastor Robbie Dawkins. Welcome back, Robbie. We are also joined by a very special guest. Is an Iranian Christian who is a part of the underground church inside Iran. Is speaking out at great personal risk to tell us what life is really like inside Iran right now as protests continue, violence escalates, and the regime tightens its grip. He'll share what he's hearing from the ground, what's happening to believers, and how decades of indoctrination have shaped the nation. This is a truly rare and sobering look inside Iran from someone who is living it. So first, the regime is claiming 3,117 deaths. What are people saying inside Iran?
The number is much higher than that. The number is something more than 50,000 people has been killed by the regime.
Okay, and the violence, is it actually stopped, or are you still seeing violence?
During the protests, the violence was very extreme, but even currently the violence hasn't stopped. The form has changed because we have so many people have been arrested and they are in the huge risk of execution and also torture inside of the jails.
Yeah, that's another thing we're hearing is early on the negotiations between the U.S. and the Islamic Republic were that the executions would stop. But what you're saying is that executions have begun again of those who were protesting and that have been arrested.
Yeah, there have been some reports that some people have been executed, but of course the government tried to keep it hidden and they're doing it behind the closed doors.
Okay, and now turning to the weapons, we heard that there were military-grade weapons and that the government was deliberately targeting eyes and heads. Is that true?
Yes, that's very true. And there is a lot of military weapons and facilities and cars that are going inside of the streets, and they try to create fears inside of the town. But at the same time, if it's necessary, they shoot people.
And then families. Are families being forced to pay to retrieve the bodies of their loved ones?
Yes, that's also very true. And there are reports from the multiple towns that families have been forced to pay a big amount to get their bodies back.
How would you describe what is happening right now to the protests, and how would you describe the mood of the people right now?
Currently, people are mourning, and they're just, most of them, they're waiting for a savior because they feel like if no change happens, all of those blood and the death has been a waste of life. So people are in extreme silence right now, even on social media. And yeah, as I said, they're just waiting for a change to happen.
Thank you so much for sharing that information with us. Robbie, we've had you on several times. You've talked a lot about the growth of the church in Iran. Are you expecting revival if the Islamic Republic falls? And maybe you can comment on that as well.
100%. This is the opportunity for us to see this evil, demonic principality regime change. This is the point that we are expecting to see, the Lord raise his heel and crush the serpent's head, and prayerfully doing that, I believe, through Israel and through the United States. And that is going to swing wide the door, just as it did when the Iron Curtain fell, for the gospel to go in. There's a hunger in Iran for the gospel. There's a hunger to know the real Jesus of the gospel. There's a desperation. People are risking their lives at this time. And I've heard from many of the underground church that they're going out and they're almost like being the care and being like the chaplains and praying for people as they're dying, to lead them to Christ, praying for people and ministering to people, rescuing the bodies as they are injured, getting them off as if they're like the EMTs coming in to rescue. The underground church is very active right now in participating to help and to aid. And so this is going to swing the door wide open. This is our opportunity. This is our opportunity to advance the kingdom in a place Satan is held in captivity and has been terrorizing the world with jihad. This is now our time. And it's so exciting to see the underground churches ready for that revival. And we are positioning and getting ready for that as well.
There you go. We'll see what happens. We don't know what the president and the prime minister necessarily are up to, but they're up to something. Yeah. And the second aircraft carrier isn't going over there just for a photo op.
Yeah, right. True. Good point. Yeah.
Anyway, that's kind of what's going on with there. Let's check out the weather with a guy that's always in front of a photo op.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain, then rain in the late afternoon with daytime highs in the upper 40s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, with lows tonight in the low 40s. Moving down the Willamette Valley, a chance of rain, then rain after 4 p.m. with high temperatures near 50 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 51 in Eugene with early patchy fog. Mostly cloudy skies today over central Oregon with daytime high temperatures in the low 50s for Prineville and mid to upper 40s in Bend and Sun River. Patchy fog, then mostly sunny and low 50s in Boise, Idaho. Along the Oregon coast, rain likely with daytime highs near 54 in Coos Bay and Port Orford, a chance of rain in near 52 in Brookings, and a slight chance of drizzle in mid-50s in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, patchy fog in the Rogue Valley, then mostly cloudy and low to mid-50s for Grants Pass and Medford, partly sunny in mid-50s in Ashland, and patchy fog, then partly sunny and 51 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, patchy fog, then partly sunny in mid-50s in Wairika, mostly sunny and low to mid-60s in Redding and Chico, early patchy fog in Sacramento, then mostly sunny with a high near 63. In the Bay Area, patchy dense fog in Santa Rosa and Napa, then mostly sunny and low to mid-60s. Mostly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61. And patchy fog, then sunny in San Jose with a high near 64. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot of our valley and little pockets of fog here and there, but some sun between the clouds and high clouds coming. We got it all happening. Mm-hmm. This is a happening place right there.
So this is kind of shocking. On this day in 2004, just one day before Valentine's Day, America's most famous plastic couple called it quits.
Toy maker Mattel announced that Barbie and Ken were officially Splitsville. After more than 40 years together, Barbie had decided she didn't want to spend Valentine's Day under false pretenses. The breakup was revealed at the American International Toy Fair, where Mattel introduced Ken's replacement, an Australian surfer named Blaine. Fans were stunned. After all, Ken had first met Barbie on the set of a 1961 commercial, and the two had been inseparable ever since. Mattel insisted the split was mutual and described Barbie as independent and focused on her career. Of course, like many celebrity couples, the story didn't end there. Barbie and Ken would eventually reunite years later. Proof that even in the plastic world, relationships can get complicated.
Kind of like Liz Taylor and Richard Burton. They were back and forth and back and forth. I'm just glad that Mattel did not decide to make one of them decide they wanted to be somebody else.
Well, there you go.
Oh, golly.
Oh, yesterday we referred to some of the hearings going on in Capitol Hill, and this was the Homeland Security hearing yesterday. And Joni Ernst, confronted Minnesota's Attorney General about his statement on fraud. There's a little bit of this exchange yesterday and just about how crazy some of this stuff is.
And Attorney General Ellison, under your watch, unfortunately, Minnesota has achieved the largest COVID fraud scheme in American history. Under your watch, those whistleblowers who brought attention to the fraud and waste in your state faced retaliation. Under your watch, billions of tax dollars intended for unemployment insurance, supporting hungry children, just as described, children with autism, providing housing for the most vulnerable, keeping small businesses afloat through COVID, and more were instead, all of those dollars were funneled away into fraudulent schemes. So last month in an interview with CNN, you were asked if your office has done enough to stop the fraud. And you responded, "Of course we've done enough." And this is a quote, "Of course we've done enough. And we're doing more every single day. This is a political matter. This is not a serious thing." Those are your words.
They are.
How do I go back to my hardworking brother and my hardworking sister and every other American who's going out there and then sending their taxpayer dollars to Washington, D.C., only to have it squandered away in fraud? How do we respond to them? And how do we recoup those dollars from these programs that Minnesota should have been overseeing?
Senator Ernst, thank you. I really do believe that you're sincerely, earnestly trying to look out for taxpayer dollars. And I'm here to tell you that, of course, we're here to hold people accountable who commit fraud. I've prosecuted and convicted over 300 people since I've been the AG for Medicaid fraud. So I'm with you when you're trying to protect the public dollar. What I was saying in that interview is that rather than coming together on a bipartisan basis to stop fraud, the matter has been turned into a political football, which I bet you probably would agree it shouldn't be. We should come together to protect the public dollar, and it shouldn't be somebody's campaign ad. What we should do is do it together. So what are we doing? First of all, you should know that I can only prosecute crimes that the county attorney gives me or that the governor assigns me. I do not have authority to just prosecute anybody I want.
Yes, and I am over time.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Okay, so the point being is, we arrested 300 people, but we still have $19 billion that we can't account for. And the whole thing is the fraud. The whole thing is a shell game, so we'll see where this all goes.
Yeah, and isn't that nice? You can shift it and say, well, I can't prosecute anybody they don't indict and bring to me. Well, they have to suggest, they have to bring it to me.
Now, I have to tell you, that was Adam's excuse about Eve.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
It was the woman, God, you gave me. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why I'm at Kelly's. It's automotive service with a heart. A heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
The Dove is shining with a brand new show, Season to Shine.
I'm Melinda Robertson, host of Season to Shine, a new heartfelt, inspiring program for women designed to bring encouragement, wisdom, and hope into your everyday life. We'll help you discover God's purpose in every season, empowering you to shine with confidence, faith, and joy. It's your season to shine. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 4 p.m. on the Dove TV. More at thedove.us.
Okay, welcome back. 9 minutes before the hour. Yesterday I had a live wire on. You know, I have Mark Little on.
Oh, gosh.
Pastor Mark Little.
Yeah.
Well, he's chairman of the board of Cure, which is Cure Now, and that was founded by Star Parker. Well, Star Parker is no longer president now. She steps aside, and I've been with Star on a few occasions. She's really quite a gal.
All right.
So yesterday I had her on the program, and guess what? Star Parker, and you'll see it here real quickly, that she's running for the 49th Congressional District in California.
Oh.
Okay. And she is the person. And here's a little bit about why she's running.
I'm beginning to find out more about the process, including that the Republicans decide they want to pick somebody beyond the voters. The Democrats decide we know what's best for you voters. And you end up with this situation of non-effectiveness for the actual communities, for the actual people. I mean, like, for instance, here in the 49th, we're beach towns. We're California coastal. They just remapped us, so now they've taken Dana Point out of my district. But so San Clemente, where I've lived for over 30 years, is still in the district, and then it runs down the coastline into San Diego County, and Camp Pendleton is right in the middle of the district. Well, how in the world do we have an environmental attorney who is hanging out with the likes of Khalib and Omar and AOC as our legislator here in this wonderful community that I live in? So, I want to hear all of the battle stories about what I need to think about to make sure that the voters know that they do have options. That's how our country was designed, for us to be a representative government. But we need representatives who have integrity, who have intellect, who actually understand the role of government, so that we can get ourselves to where we can live at peace with one another.
Look, she's a live wire, and she's the perfect person to go out against the establishment and run.
Yeah.
Against the R's and the D's.
Yeah.
Just get out there and go for it. She's a great gal.
I love it.
All right.
Well.
Hey, John Gizzi's going to be with me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. John Gizzi, he's the White House correspondent for Newsmax.
Oh, all right.
So when you see the White House, you'll see John back there.
Yeah.
He's been there 728 years.
All right. I can't wait to hear it.
Wait till you see him. You'll see.
All right.
He's been there.
Well, I have a rescue story, and this time the hero is unlikely because he's a neighborhood dog.
In January, Louisville Metro Police launched an urgent search after a toddler was reported missing. Officers combed the area on foot while a drone and helicopter searched from above. With freezing temperatures and such a young child involved, the situation was critical. Then, Officer Josh Thompson says something remarkable happened. A dog suddenly appeared and began barking at him, almost as if urging him to hurry. The dog then led officers to a nearby backyard, stopping beside a parked vehicle. Inside, they found the missing boy, cold and scared, but unharmed. The child was quickly reunited with his family, even wrapping his arms around the officer who found him. Police say their four-legged friend reminded them that heroes come in all forms.
That's right.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
There's something about that connection.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Go ahead.
I've seen a few videos where dogs get involved and lead rescuers into a burning building or like in this case, somebody who's lost. It's amazing.
So, far out question.
Okay.
There's the Nancy Guthrie case is still going on in Tucson. A lot of twists and turns.
Yeah.
one of the stories is out, supposedly the sheriff is holding evidence from the FBI. I don't know what that's all about. That doesn't pass the smell test.
No.
But why haven't they brought in a dog to sniff around that doorbell and that camera?
Yeah.
And to sniff the house.
Yeah.
And then take those dogs out in the neighborhood.
Yes. I don't.
You don't see any dogs here.
Good point. Yeah.
I'm going, what? This seems like to me this would be almost basic.
Yeah, this seems like 101. Yes.
So, and dogs, they have the sense like on anything else out there.
Yeah.
But they could have a dog, sweep that whole area, that front door area, up where the cameras are, where the doorbell was. They took the thing, they disarmed it. He walked all in and out of there. Okay.
And they got gloves, right?
They got gloves.
So they have the scent, right?
They could have compared it there.
Yeah.
The other one is, it's her blood that's on the doorstep.
Right.
Okay, that means he had to be there too.
Okay.
So there's dual smells there. Okay. You would think that they would use dogs now. Something's wrong with this whole case. It seems to be poorly managed. 1 Corinthians 2:9, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor has it even entered into the heart of man the things that God has prepared for those who love him. In other words, heaven is beyond human comprehension. The closest thing we have is that picture right there.
Weekday mornings on the Dove, it's one of the longest running shows in broadcast history, the 700 Club. Informative, with the day's stories from a biblical perspective.
Israel finds itself fighting.
Trusted investigative reporting.
Our chief political analyst, David.
Encouraging with uplifting stories of faith.
And then she heard a prayer. I immediately felt the Holy Spirit.
Be encouraged and informed with the 700 Club. Weekdays at 11 on the Dove TV. Get more at thedove.us.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? When you want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life, call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm Guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
For some people, the single greatest discouraging factor in their life is their perceived lack of forward movement in God. There are many Christians that feel stagnant, and they're generally self-condemned. They don't need the devil to condemn them, they're self-condemned. Let me assure you, my friend, the Lord is not through with you. He is working in you. Philippians 1:6 says, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. He's begun the work. He'll carry it on until the day of Christ's return. He's not going to give up on you. He's not going to cast you aside. Psalm 138 and verse 8 says, the Lord will perfect that which concerns me.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Hi, I'm Ryan Robertson, host of a brand new program on the Dove, Ministries on the Move. Be inspired and discover everyday people putting their faith into action.
Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Hey, good morning to you. Happy Friday. We made it. Took us 4 days to get here, but we have made it. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove, where Jerry Building gets his kicks.
Yeah, thanks. Here I am.
Yeah, a lot going on. By the way, just a couple of things as we head into this weekend. Don't forget, Monday is President's Day.
Yeah.
And so to commemorate President's Day, we're going to flip our screen here and take a look. This is President's Day. Do you have it there, Scott? There it is. No, the other one. There it is.
Oh, yes.
There we go.
This is awesome. Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Okay, so name them.
There's Washington, there's Thomas Jefferson, there's Theodore Roosevelt, and of course Abraham Lincoln, the founder and the very first Republican president.
Yep.
How about that?
And so, like a lot of the Republican parties, they'll be having their Lincoln Day dinner. They always do that.
Yeah.
I think the local one here is next Saturday. And then there's a mound out there for one more, and they were hoping it'd be Reagan. But I think that somebody could buy that.
Who would have that kind of money? Oh, no.
You know?
Oh, no.
They actually talked about Reagan at one time, but President Reagan, but I don't know now. I don't even think they would allow them to do this.
Right. And first of all, yeah. And the government would never be allowed to put any money into change any mountain anywhere into somebody's face.
No.
Yes, you're right.
Besides, that whole mountain crest there isn't room for the Donald's hair. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime
soon. It's not happening.
Okay. And then, of course, don't forget tomorrow, guys. Dun-da-da. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Yeah. Don't forget that, guys, and gals, but primarily guys. You know, the line outside See's Candy started at 5 a.m. this morning.
Oh, that's funny. Do you remember your first Valentine's Day with Peggy?
Oh, yes.
Do you? Mm-hmm. Yes. All right.
And I won't say what it is because I don't want it's between us. But I from that day forward, I've always got her the same thing. Okay.
What?
No, I can't tell you that.
Okay.
But so because Valentine's Day is on Saturday.
Yeah.
And we'll be traveling next week. So I gave it to her earlier this week.
Okay.
So she'd have this week to enjoy it because next week we'll be gone.
Oh. Yeah.
So same thing all these years.
Okay. I want to know.
No?
I want to know.
Now, she did bless me last night with cherry pie a la mode.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's my favorite.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
With some fresh vanilla bean ice cream.
I'm slow getting started on this Valentine's Day thing. I just thought you did this on Valentine's Day.
Well, you have an excuse. I don't.
Yeah. Well, you know, I do have an excuse.
Yeah.
But our very first Valentine's Day, Pam and I spent on the slopes together.
Really? Skiing?
Yeah, I was a ski instructor at Heavenly, and our uniform was blue. But we were going to spend the day together skiing.
Instead, you went and loped.
No, I eventually did. But I said, honey, I don't just wear blue. I got red skin-tight ski pants. So let's wear these. Well, in those days, everybody wore stretch pants, remember? Like racers.
Yeah.
And so, so we got pictures skiing around the mountain in
They had the straps underneath your feet, right? You know, you'd put them on.
Oh, you mean safety straps?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were around your ankle, yeah.
Well, no, the ones that went around your feet, too, so they actually run around your foot, so it kept pulling your pants down.
I never had those. Oh, thank goodness I didn't do that.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. Golly, what a thought. Oh, very. Okay.
Well, I mean, they were stretchy ski pants. You know, they had those ski pants that were stretchy.
Everybody skied in stretch pants.
Yeah. And anyway, so you guys were on the mountain.
Yes. Red ski pants. That's the key. Moving on.
Wow.
All right. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and today is Galentine's Day. Where all the gals get together. Women getting together, celebrating each other every year on the day before Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So, ladies, have fun. It is also No One Eats Alone Day, National No One Eats Alone Day. And this basically looks at lunchrooms across, the schools across America, organized by students, for students. Middle schools across the nation look beyond differences and find ways to start conversations at lunchtime. And we know that lunchrooms can have a definite pecking order, huh? Yeah, I mean, the cool kids, they're kind of at one table.
Yeah, very cliquey.
Very cliquey.
Yeah.
Cool kids, the not so cool kids over in another one. And then maybe scattered around are individuals who belong to no groups.
See, you were with the cool kids saying that those kids over there weren't cool, but those kids over there were saying you guys weren't cool.
We were band geeks.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. But, you know, it's interesting, too, because you sometimes, you know, I mentioned in the first hour that I went to a new school in junior high school when my parents left North Dakota and took us to California. And first period was band, and I, you know, started meeting some folks in the trombone section. And when it came to lunch, I walked into the lunchroom, and I was lost. I was alone. And there were those band kids who go, hey, Jerry, come sit with us.
There
It's
you
like,
go.
all of a sudden, you feel a lot different.
Yeah,
you don't
yes,
feel
you do.
so alone.
Yeah.
So, you know, spread that joy. Include somebody in your lunch. Also, what are you having for lunch? How about some cheddar cheese? Because it is National Cheddar Day. And you don't have to put much effort into celebrating this. Just put cheese on anything. Its cheesy history dates back at least 1,000 years, with origins pointing to southwestern England during the 12th century in the village of Cheddar in Somerset. Now, the village of Cheddar is home to the Cheddar Gorge, which contains several massive limestone caves. Local farmers discovered that these caves provided the perfect constant temperature and humidity for aging cheese. The historical records written in 1170 claim that King Henry II was such a fan of the aged cheddar that he purchased 10,240 pounds of it for a penny per pound. Later, King Charles I was known to have the cheese pre-ordered before it was even made so that he could get his. So cheddar has a very rich history coming out of Cheddar, Somerset, England.
Isn't that's cool?
Yeah.
That's good. But I've always wanted to, I mean, cheese being what it is. I mean, you know, there's all kinds of cheese out there. How come the cows and the goats never get any credit? How come the cheese gets the blue ribbon, not the cow and the goat?
You're right. Oh, but they give a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, anyway.
You like cheddar?
Yeah.
You like sharp, mild, in between? What do you like?
Well, it depends on how I'm eating cheese, you know. If I'm just like some, you know, crackers and salami and stuff like that, I can use all kinds of cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it good for us? I mean,
is it good for you?
It's got a lot of good stuff for it in it. It's got protein and stuff. But can your arteries and your veins take it?
Does it matter?
Enough said.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
All right. Here's Pam's Little Broken Valentine.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain, then rain in the late afternoon with daytime highs in the upper 40s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, with lows tonight in the low 40s. Moving down the Willamette Valley, a chance of rain, then rain after 4 p.m. with high temperatures near 50 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 51 in Eugene with early patchy fog. Mostly cloudy skies today over central Oregon with daytime high temperatures in the low 50s for Prineville and mid to upper 40s in Bend and Sun River. Patchy fog, then mostly sunny and low 50s in Boise, Idaho. Along the Oregon coast, rain likely with daytime highs near 54 in Coos Bay and Port Orford, a chance of rain in near 52 in Brookings, and a slight chance of drizzle in mid-50s in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, patchy fog in the Rogue Valley, then mostly cloudy and low to mid-50s for Grants Pass and Medford, partly sunny in mid-50s in Ashland, and patchy fog, then partly sunny and 51 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, patchy fog, then partly sunny in mid-50s in Wairika, mostly sunny and low to mid-60s in Redding and Chico, early patchy fog in Sacramento, then mostly sunny with a high near 63. In the Bay Area, patchy dense fog in Santa Rosa and Napa, then mostly sunny and low to mid-60s. Mostly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61. And patchy fog, then sunny in San Jose with a high near 64. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot of the sunrise this morning. Actually, that's on the backside of the sunrise, but nonetheless, the sun is coming up, and we should have a nice day today. And then with the weather coming in, rain all next week.
Yeah, we're keeping the hopes alive. It says on and off through the week, so it could be something substantial. We'll see. All right. Well, we know that the folks, are trying to find peace in their lives, and we know that we live in a very tumultuous world. So it gets more and more difficult. But Billy Graham is here, and he tells us that you can have peace no matter what the circumstances are.
That we have religion, but we don't really know Jesus Christ. That's what Jesus said to Nicodemus, you must be born again, and he was a religious man. Peace with God, that's why Christ died. That's why he rose again. That's what the cross is all about. Christ did his part on the cross in dying for you. Now you must receive him. You see, God is willing to offer you a pardon. He'll pardon you and forgive you. But more than that, he will change you here and now. And you begin eternal life, not when you die, you begin eternal life tonight, right now. And you can have heaven on earth. Joy and peace and security in the midst of a world that's crumbling. In fact, that's what peace means. Peace means tranquility no matter what the circumstances.
Well, there you go. My peace, Jesus said, I leave with you, not as the world's peace, and I've overcome the world. So there's a difference between the peace that Christ can give you and the peace that you can manufacture yourself. So, but it is enhanced with cherry pie and vanilla bean ice cream.
Okay. We can do that.
Okay. Anyway, good morning to you. Let's take a look at some of the top stories this morning. Well, this is really an amazing deal. It looks like we are heading for another shutdown. If you remember, they had 12 appropriation bills that kept kicking the can down the road from November all the way up through the end of the year. And they got 11 of them through, but the one that didn't get through was the one that funds Homeland Security, or primarily ICE. And of course, this has become the political football of the left right now. And so they took that one out and said, we're going to give it 14-day CR, continuing resolution. And here we are, day 14, and no movement whatsoever. And so it looks like we are heading into another partial shutdown. I have no idea what the partial, who is open, who's not open.
Who gets paid, who doesn't, right.
I don't know. But anyway, the Ds continue to hold this out. And just think about this, folks, because it is offset by another story I have in a moment. So the Ds do not want ICE to be funded to do its job.
Okay.
Don't want law enforcement to enforce the law.
Okay, and we know that in Washington there is a history of give and take, negotiating back and forth between the R's and the D's on the issues and the policies that they want. Is this a new negotiating ploy on the part of the D's? Is you just shut down the government? This is the third one they've done.
The answer is yes. It's all they got. Okay, and it's the rallying point for their base. But the ICE thing, by the way, ICE is now pretty much out of Minnesota.
Yeah, it looks to be. Yeah.
Okay, and you don't see that making any kind of news. But the point being is, so the emphasis in Minnesota will probably switch to the fraud. But the point being is, you have the Democrats do not want to fund a law enforcement arm of the government.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like defunding the local police.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hello, Portland.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. The other story, this was the big news yesterday. EPA, Lee Zeldin, has been working behind the scenes for deregulating just about everything that the EPA does. And so yesterday, the president and Lee Zeldin came to the podium, and here's what they had to say.
And it's an honor to be here with a terrific person who's worked so hard on this, and some other terrific people. Thank you very much. But I'm pleased to be joined today by EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, who you all know, and to announce the single largest deregulatory action in American history. That's a big statement in American history, and I think we can add the words by far. Under the process just completed by the EPA, we are officially terminating the so-called endangerment finding a disastrous Obama-era policy that severely damaged the American auto industry and massively drove up prices for American consumers. Prices went up incredibly for a worse product. This action will eliminate over $1.3 trillion of regulatory costs and help bring car prices tumbling down dramatically. You're going to get a better car. You're going to get a car that starts easier, a car that works better for a lot less money. In 2009, Barack Hussein Obama, his EPA designated fossil fuels such as oil, gas, and other things that actually make factories rock and roll and other things drive very nicely as a threat to health and human welfare, known as the endangerment finding. This determination had no basis, in fact, had none whatsoever, and it had no basis in law. On the contrary, over the generations, fossil fuels have saved millions of lives and lifted billions of people out of poverty and all over the world.
Wow,
Well,
this is really big.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
The endangerment finding, I mean, come on. The Green New Deal, all these other things, we all know that, look, this was a scam out there.
Yeah.
And the United States has made quantum leaps in cleaning up air and water.
Right.
And yet we act like we're the dirtiest country in the world and keep taxing our people while other countries haven't even begun. Look at China.
Yeah, yeah.
You look at India. I mean, you can go on down the list here, but this is a big deal. The question is, will it reach the local agencies? You know, I don't know how this works.
I don't either.
So if he declared and deregulated it yesterday, does the local EPA office get the memo today?
Yeah.
And that could mean an amazing staff reduction because you need all these people out there giving people tickets, EPA tickets.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, isn't it interesting, too, though? A lot of this stuff happened after The Inconvenient Truth, the book and the movie that came out from Al Gore.
Yeah.
And that's been like 20 years now, right?
Yeah.
Remember all the dire predictions he made?
Right.
Yeah. So much so that those living in coastal communities were supposed to be underwater.
Yeah.
Instead, the Democrat presidential candidate in the last cycle just bought beachfront property in Malibu.
There you go.
A $12 million mansion on the beach. So, okay. An inconvenient truth.
Yes.
Bursts.
It's pretty crazy. Oh. And I've had the local. And I like talking to Democrats. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy talking to Democrats. I mean, I think I can have civil conversation with people that I totally disagree with.
Okay.
You know, and I've had them in here, these lawmakers that come in and sit down and, we're going to be, we're going to be in absolutely an emergency in 8 years. Well, here we are 10 years later. Well, it's going to be 9 years. Well, I've had them in. Jeff Golden's been in here, Senator Golden. We've done some shows together back and forth. And it's crazy. In fact, the whole fire map was over this whole thing.
Yes.
Anyway, so much for that.
Okay.
Moving right along, Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, went after President Obama yesterday for encouraging voters and lawmakers to reject adopting the National Voter ID, the SAFE Act. So you have a former president saying that you shouldn't be identified as a citizen in order to vote in this country. You had 213 House members vote no on voter ID, and it went from 84 to 93% in 2 weeks. 93% of Americans want voter ID.
Right. Yes, but not Democrats who are serving.
I sure hope the Republicans manage this, because this is the one that you shove down their throat for re-election.
Right. Yeah, this is an ad in the making.
Yeah. So you got all the corruption in Minnesota. You got all the stuff going on in California. You got a former president say, we don't need to know who you are, but here's a ballot.
Yeah.
And you got the United States people saying, no, we want to clean this up. Right. And yet you got legislators saying, well, people, you're wrong, we're right.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Let me know how that works for you. All right. The last story, I think it is.
Okay.
I got stories all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know how many zeros are in a billion?
No, I really don't. Thanks for asking, though.
How many in a million?
Start counting. Six.
Okay.
Well, how about, not really, how about 900,000? 6. Oh, that's 6 figures.
Yeah, 6 figures.
But zeros. 6 zeros.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so that's how you look at it. So I don't know, where's a billion? Another 3 more? That'd be 9?
Yeah, who's counting?
I don't know. I barely got out of 7th grade math. Well, the reason I bring that up, Secretary Ludnick, he's quite a guy. He's the Commerce Secretary.
Yeah.
And he announced yesterday that $400 billion of pharmaceutical manufacturing is coming back to the United States.
Whoa.
$400 billion. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who spouses in cancer treatment.
Oh, okay.
One treatment.
Uh-huh.
$75,000.
Oh.
What do you do with this?
Oh my
and
God.
why is it that much?
Yeah, yes, right. And is it that much everywhere or just in the United States?
Well, see, you got to do some comparing here.
Right.
Now, I'm not, look, in spite of our medical problems, we're still the best in the world.
Yeah, we have the best medical treatment, but we have some real issues with pharmaceutical pricing.
Pricing is
the differences, especially between those those products that are different in other countries. So yeah, we need to get to the bottom of that.
$400 billion in pharmaceutical manufacturing. This could be a real problem for China because a lot of our pharmaceuticals are made in China. So if you can give incentives for these companies to come back to America, that is a big deal.
Guess where I am right now?
Where?
I'm looking for this stuff.
Yeah.
Trump RX.
Yeah.
Says find the world's lowest prices on prescription drugs. Trump RX is rewriting the script, bringing major savings on essential medications for all Americans. So this will be the platform that a lot of this will come to.
Well, and then you got Amazon delivering your pills to your back to your front door.
Right.
I don't know.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
We'll see what happens. But yes, we have some of the highest prices in the world here. So we'll see how this works out.
Yes.
That's quite a statement. So we had two big things. EPA basically got gutted, and the pharmaceutical industry is coming back to the United States.
That EPA thing, too, is really big. That is truly the biggest deregulation we've seen. And another, it's interesting that former President Barack Obama is in the news right now discouraging voter ID. And he's also in the news for having his policies overturned by Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's having a bad day.
He is having a bad day,
yeah. Not a good day. All right, we'll take a good day break because it's Friday. We'll be right back.
Where I don't know all of the comfort you bestow. Where could I fall? Where could I land? Where I'm not resting in your hand. And how could I stray too far away? Where you won't leave the
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
Hi, I'm Ryan Robertson, host of a brand new program on theDove, Ministries on the Move. Ministries on the Move spotlights the incredible work of how God is using everyday people and organizations, putting their faith into action, serving the hurting, strengthening families, and sharing the hope of the gospel in practical ways. Be inspired and discover these Ministries on the Move. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m., right here on theDove TV. Encouraging and informative. More at thedove.us.
Welcome back. It's 24 minutes past the hour. Just a little sad news, really, in the sense that Portland's losing another long-time business. It's been up to 110 years, the Sheridan Fruit Company.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Portlanders are allowing this to happen. I don't know all the circumstances, but they've been around since 1916, providing the best, and there was this gradual indication that the shelves were becoming empty and they weren't replenishing things there, so there was something going on, and they finally announced that after 110 years they're going to close the shop down. But doing business in Portland, it's just getting harder and harder. You got regulations, you got all this baloney going on in the streets. People don't want to walk to a market anymore. They're afraid to go. I mean, all these why can't, I don't know. This is sad. This is sad. There may be some circumstances that I'm not aware of.
Like taxes?
It could be that. It could be taxes. It could be regulations. It could be theft. It could be threats. It could be all kinds of things.
Could be all of the above.
It could be that people just don't go there anymore because it's not a safe neighborhood. The only thing I can say, this is sad. This is sad because it was an institution there. Okay.
Yeah.
The other story is this little bell in front of me here. And yesterday I was over at the Salvation Army here in Southern Oregon. And this is just really a unique thing. So the Dove, for 3 years in a row, on Media Day, ringing the bell for Salvation Army during Christmas, we outrang everybody else.
Yes.
We outdinged everybody else.
Awesome.
And what makes this story so special is, we've gone to Fred Meyer South and put on the apron, the hat, and all that, and ring the bell during the Christmas season. So I was announcing the wrong day for a week.
I know you were. I know. To the point where I was planning on being with you. I was all excited. And then Thursday, the day before,
I got this memo that says it's tomorrow.
Yes.
And I'm going, you got to be kidding me. By the way, I was somewhat redeemed a little bit because when I was there at the Salvation Army yesterday receiving this on behalf of the Dove, they did tell me that they put out a memo earlier with the date on it that I was promoting, but I never got the other memo.
You didn't get the memo.
So basically, by the time I realized that we had made a mistake, I had Thursday morning and Friday morning to turn this around.
Right, right.
So anyway, you folks here in Southern Oregon, you're the best because some of you were waiting for me to get there to ring the bell before you contributed. So we were up against all the other media stations in the market.
Yeah.
So we raised a little over $1,500 an hour that we were there.
Wow.
And so we eked it out, and they did remind me we eked it out.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So 23, 24, and 25, the Dove outrang the bell against all the other media sources in Southern Oregon for the Salvation Army, and a beautiful plaque like this that they gave, you know, and we raised $3,073 that day in 2 hours.
Oh, man.
In 2 hours.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway,
Great job.
I have to say this, that this crew over there, Major Randy and his wife, Johnette Mulch, they're just the best. Such friendly, happy people doing great work. And I can't say enough about the Salvation Army. They're building new homes, apartments. They have the church. During the holidays, they feed a lot of people. They get a lot of toys to a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Every weekday, they're out there helping the helpless, so to speak.
Yes.
But they do it with a program that is so good because they really actually turn you from needy to merit, so to speak. And it's not a handout, it's a hand up.
Right.
And in all of that, they do it in God's love.
Yeah.
And they preach the gospel by doing. And so I just want to say to Major Randy and the whole crew, thank you guys. You're just, we're so honored. To work with them.
Yep.
Let alone did we mess up and just eked out the award. I mean, I think I heard the figure, and it was pennies.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, oh, good.
But,
hey, you know, it's at the finish line, you just get it by a nose.
There you go.
All right.
Let's take a look at Wall Street for a Friday morning. Thank you, Preston, with Smart Lawn. He's the smart guy because you won't have to mow your lawn anymore. Call him, especially before you run out of water. The Dow's off this morning, about 171. The Now's dipped down, the NASDAQ dipped down 31. And the S&P off about 3, almost 4 points. So a little red ink at the end of the week, and I think it's all the nonsense going on. That pushed gold up a few more pennies, $5,086. Silver went down, but is up. It was in the 80s. Now it's 77.96. And crude oil came down. I'm going to see if I remember. It's probably 60 cents. $66.42 a barrel. Still high. We need, when you get oil in the 50s, all this talk about the economy will become true.
Yes.
But if it's going to stay in the 60s, it ain't happening.
Okay, we've all heard the phrase drill, baby, drill. And that kind of, to us, implies increased production, right?
Right.
Okay, so is that happening? And if it is happening, what's going on at the pump? Well, Representative Dan Muser, a Republican from Pennsylvania, discusses the implication of increased U.S. energy production, including the processing of Venezuelan oil. He did this on Fox Business's Barney and Company.
It's very good news for Pennsylvania. It's very good news for the U.S. Look, only 6 weeks ago, we had a dictator, a leader of a cartel, someone engaged in human trafficking running Venezuela, a virtually neighboring country that has the highest proven reserves of oil in the world. Today, we have our Secretary of Energy with the Vice President, who's cooperating for now. There will be elections that will take place, and we'll see what happens. And we're already adding to their production of their oil, and it's a special heavy crude, which is used for jet fuel as well as diesel, being shipped to the United States. And guess what's happening with all that oil that we're refining for them? We're selling it, and their Venezuela people are receiving the proceeds. So it's a miraculous turn of events, and it's very strong. And look, we all know we need more energy. We've got data centers. We've got other needs. We've got AI. We've got an expanding economy. And you want to know what, Stuart? The more U.S. produces in oil and natural gas and coal, the cleaner the world will be.
He used a word there that really stuck out for me. Refinery. Well, we're refining for them. It's like, wait a minute, that is an issue in our country right now because refineries are going away, especially because of some of the regulations that went on that just got overturned yesterday.
Yeah.
The EPA.
Well, I will admit the refineries in California are old. Okay, but that doesn't mean that they should be out of business. Well, yeah. But now they're closing up. Chevron's leaving California.
Well, yeah, Gavin Newsom has chased them out of the state.
Chased them out of the state.
Yes.
By the way, the other one was Mark Zuckerberg. You know, they have this 5% wealth tax coming.
Right, he just moved.
He just picked up and left.
Yeah, he went to, guess where?
He went to Billionaire Island.
Florida,
yeah.
Right, absolutely.
And he can afford to go there.
Yes, and you know what? This is kind of cataclysmic. This is showing the trend, and this is kind of like the dam is starting to leak, and it's going to break.
It is. Look, you can't afford, and the problem with what happens in California eventually happens in Oregon. When are we going to have a wealth tax? We're fighting all these other taxes during this short session.
Don't say that so loudly that they can hear you up in Salem. Yeah, I'm sure this. Oh my goodness.
So anyway, this is crazy. By the way, California is importing importing gas.
Yeah, they're importing their fuel. Yeah.
Okay.
Like 20%.
Now, just understand, you folks who are pretty much in our listening and viewing area, California, Oregon, and Washington have the highest state tax gas in the country.
Right.
Even though that's $2.79 in some areas, we'll never see that here.
Right.
Oregon is 40 cents a gallon, and they want to make it 46 cents a gallon.
Yes.
This is absolutely ludicrous.
Right.
And if they are not going to refine fuel in California, and they have to import gasoline.
Right.
And you know what that's going to do to airline prices here?
Oh, yeah.
Because we're already trucking aviation fuel from Portland to Medford to fuel these airplanes every day.
Really?
Yes. You ever see those big tankers out there?
Yep.
3 of them on the road constantly, 24/7, moving fuel down here to fuel these airplanes.
No kidding.
And if you can't get refined fuel out of California, where is it going to come from?
Yeah.
It's eventually going to drive your airline ticket up.
Wow. Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's just my whole thing about the economy is crude oil. You get crude oil in the 50s, everything will go down. As long as crude oil stays in the 60s, it's not going to be a message that will sell.
And all those climate activists who are all, especially the celebrities who are telling us, that this is necessary, continue to fly around in their private jets. They go to Davos and they decide policy for us.
The problem I have with that?
What?
I don't get to fly. I love flying.
I know you
I want to fly one of those jets.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't care what it costs and how much pollution they put in the air. I want to fly one of those jets. We'll be right back.
Over time, every wall tells a story, but sometimes those stories need a fresh start. At Chris Silva Painting, we specialize in transforming indoor spaces, whether it's your family home or your business workspace. With premium paints, flexible scheduling, and expert attention to detail, we make the process simple and stress-free so you can focus on what matters most, living and working in a space you love. From bold new colors to subtle tones of sophistication, let Chris Silva Painting bring your vision to life, one wall at a time. Chris and his crew are courteous, they're efficient, organized, timely, and clean. Chris Silva Painting also offers military discounts. At Chris Silva Painting, our mission statement is to bring Christ's heart and principles to our customers and our job sites. We do that with honesty, integrity, and hard work. We don't cut corners, we paint them. CCB number 176097. Chris Silva Painting, 541-890-3960. 541-890-3960.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
And are you willing to say yes to the claims of Christ, that he is the Son of God, and that you want him to come into your heart and forgive your sins, and you want to know it? Oh, I know. Many of you have been baptized and confirmed. Most of you perhaps are members of some church, or you're identified with a church, or maybe you go to church 2 or 3 times a year. I don't know whether you do or not, but I'm sure a lot of you do. But you're not sure. You couldn't stand here tonight and say, I know my sins are forgiven. I know I'm going to heaven. God is willing to forgive all your past tonight because of the cross. God is willing to say, I forgive you because he loves you. And God is interested in you as though you were the only person in the whole world. And you can receive him tonight.
Welcome back. 23 minutes before the hour. Of course, very much in the news these days is the Middle East, and in particular Iran. I think everybody's kind of going, where's the deal?
Yeah.
In the meantime, aircraft carrier number 2 is almost there. The USS George H.W. Bush will be in the region shortly, probably there now. And that is quite a physical intimidation. Come to the table, or But they're finding out now that most of the leaders in Iran have skipped the country. Wow. And they're transferring the money out. And Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said to the president, well, you can try to make a deal, but you're making a deal with people who don't deal. So he came out of the meeting a little sour.
Look at all the deals that have been done already through the years.
So where is all this? Well, one guy that's on top of it with the right perspective, not only from a political standpoint, the news standpoint, but certainly the spiritual standpoint, is our good friend Chris Mitchell from Jerusalem Dateline. And here's his latest report.
The situation continues to be dire inside Iran, with citizens hoping for a military strike to topple the Islamic regime. We spoke with someone who's witnessed the slaughter of protesters in the streets, and with an American pastor closely involved with the underground church. Take a look.
Hey everyone, I am Joshua Swanson here in Jerusalem with our Bureau Chief, Chris Mitchell, for CBN News. And today we are joined by Pastor Robbie Dawkins. Welcome back, Robbie. We are also joined by a very special guest. Is an Iranian Christian who is a part of the underground church inside Iran. Is speaking out at great personal risk to tell us what life is really like inside Iran right now as protests continue, violence escalates, and the regime tightens its grip. He'll share what he's hearing from the ground, what's happening to believers, and how decades of indoctrination have shaped the nation. This is a truly rare and sobering look inside Iran. from someone who is living it. So first, the regime is claiming 3,117 deaths. What are people saying inside Iran?
The number is much higher than that. The number is something more than 50,000 people has been killed by the regime.
Okay, and the violence, is it actually stopped, or are you still seeing violence?
During the protests, the violence was very extreme, but even currently the violence hasn't stopped. The form has changed because we have so many people have been arrested and they are in the huge risk of execution and also torture inside of the jails.
Yeah, that's another thing we're hearing is early on the negotiations between the U.S. and the Islamic Republic were that the executions would stop. But what you're saying is that executions have begun again of those who were protesting and that have been arrested.
Yeah, there have been some reports that some people have been executed, but of course the government tried to keep it hidden and they're doing it in, behind the closed doors.
Okay, and now turning to the weapons, we heard that there were military-grade weapons and that the government was deliberately targeting eyes and heads. Is that true?
Yes, that's very true. And there is a lot of military weapons and facilities and cars that are going inside of the streets, and they try to create fears inside of the town. But at the same time, if it's necessary, they shoot people.
And then families. Are families being forced to pay to retrieve the bodies of their loved ones?
Yes, that's also very true. And there are reports from the multiple towns that families have been forced to pay a big amount to get their bodies back.
How would you describe what is happening right now to the protests, and how would you describe the mood of the people right now?
Currently, people are mourning, and they're just, most of them, they're waiting for a savior because they feel like if no change happens, all of those blood and the death has been a waste of life. So people are in extreme silence right now, even on social media. And yeah, as I said, they're just waiting for a change to happen.
Thank you so much for sharing that information with us. Robbie, we've had you on several times. You've talked a lot about the growth of the church in Iran. Are you expecting revival if the Islamic Republic falls? And maybe you can comment on that as well.
100%. This is the opportunity for us to see this evil, demonic principality regime change. This is the point that we are expecting to see, the Lord raise his heel and crush the serpent's head, and prayerfully doing that, I believe, through Israel and through the United States. And that is going to swing wide the door, just as it did when the Iron Curtain fell, for the gospel to go in. There's a hunger in Iran for the gospel. There's a hunger to know the real Jesus of the gospel. There's a desperation. People are risking their lives at this time. And I've heard from many of the underground church that they're going out and they're almost like being the care and being like the chaplains and praying for people as they're dying, to lead them to Christ, praying for people and ministering to people, rescuing the bodies as they are injured, getting them off as if they're like the EMTs coming in to rescue. The underground church is very active right now in participating to help and to aid. And so this is going to swing the door wide open. This is our opportunity. This is our opportunity to advance the kingdom in a place Satan is held in captivity and has been terrorizing the world with jihad. This is now our time. And it's so exciting to see the underground churches ready for that revival. And we are positioning and getting ready for that as well.
Well, there's hope there. This is part of the equation you don't hear on regular news, that there is a spiritual revival going on in Iran, and it's the miraculous one. It's one that we hear about what we don't really process. People are literally waking up from visions of Jesus, and that's very biblical. And they instantly know that what has just happened to them will cost them possibly their life and certainly their relationship. Yes. But it's so strong and so real that they take it on.
Yeah, they follow it.
So part of the equation of, let's go in there and bomb them, let's do this, let's do that. There's human beings involved in this, and there is something else going on in there. And how do you protect that and foster that? It's a little bit complicated.
Yeah, very.
All right, 16 minutes before the hour. You talk about complicated.
Speaking of complicated, no.
Look at this.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain, then rain in the late afternoon with daytime highs in the upper 40s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, with lows tonight in the low 40s. Moving down the Willamette Valley, a chance of rain, then rain after 4 p.m. with high temperatures near 50 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 51 in Eugene with early patchy fog. Mostly cloudy skies today over central Oregon with daytime high temperatures in the low 50s for Prineville and mid to upper 40s in Bend and Sun River. Patchy fog, then mostly sunny and low 50s in Boise, Idaho. Along the Oregon coast, rain likely with daytime highs near 54 in Coos Bay and Port Orford, a chance of rain in near 52 in Brookings, and a slight chance of drizzle in mid-50s in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, patchy fog in the Rogue Valley, then mostly cloudy and low to mid-50s for Grants Pass and Medford, partly sunny in mid-50s in Ashland, and patchy fog, then partly sunny and 51 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, patchy fog, then partly sunny in mid-50s in Wairika, mostly sunny and low to mid-60s in Redding and Chico, early patchy fog in Sacramento, then mostly sunny with a high near 63. In the Bay Area, patchy dense fog in Santa Rosa and Napa, then mostly sunny and low to mid-60s. Mostly sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61. And patchy fog, then sunny in San Jose with a high near 64. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot of our valley sunrise this morning, and just gorgeous, just gorgeous. High clouds coming in, which indicate the change is a-coming. I just got a text from my attorney.
What did your attorney say?
Knock it off for Jerry, or he'll end up filing a workman's comp complaint.
Listen to your attorney.
Really?
Yeah, right.
You can't defend that?
Oh, golly. No, ain't gonna happen. All right, well, this is shocking. On the day before Valentine's Day, way back in '04, America's most famous plastic couple called it quits.
Toy maker Mattel announced that Barbie and Ken were officially Splitsville. After more than 40 years together, Barbie had decided she didn't want to spend Valentine's Day under false pretenses. The breakup was revealed at the American International Toy Fair, where Mattel introduced Ken's replacement, an Australian surfer named Blaine. Fans were stunned. After all, Ken had first met Barbie on the set of a 1961 commercial, and the two had been inseparable ever since. Mattel insisted the split was mutual and described Barbie as independent and focused on her career. Of course, like many celebrity couples, the story didn't end there. Barbie and Ken would eventually reunite years later. Proof that even in the plastic world, relationships can get complicated.
You know, I remember this, but there was also a complaint because Mattel made the decision for them to split.
Yeah.
And they introduced a surfer gal, okay?
Yeah, the dude Blaine.
Yeah. And the complaint was at that time, you remember, so what was the year on this?
'04.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the complaint was, why didn't Mattel take the family route?
And do what?
Have Ken and Barbie marry.
Yeah, that would have been the logical thing to do, right?
And have a family.
Why not?
You know, all these, these little Kenettes and Barbiettes out there.
Yeah, yes.
But they didn't do that.
Well, it's a good thing that they didn't do something else with them.
I have a Bill Clinton Barbie doll. It was given to me at one of the conventions.
You just bent my mind.
Well, wasn't it? Let me put it this way.
What's she wearing?
No, I should clarify that.
Okay.
It wasn't one of Bill Clinton's Barbies. It was Barbie, the manufacturer of Barbie dolls made a Bill Clinton doll. Yeah. I have it at home.
Oh, that's really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Well, I guess it is. I don't know.
No, that's really good.
All right, 12 minutes before the hour. We did talk about Josh Hawley going after the Attorney General there in Minnesota and some of the stuff going on. This has a lot to do with the fraud that's going on in Minnesota. And this hearing was yesterday. It got a little touchy and heaty. And anyway, just to give you an idea of the tension in Capitol Hill, look at this exchange.
Why'd you take their money?
I didn't.
You took $10,000.
No, that's a false statement.
$10,000 9 days after the meeting.
False statement.
You took $10,000. Here's what happened. They went to your office.
That's a
they
false
solicited
statement.
money from
They
you.
did
They
not come to
solicited
my
help
office.
from you.
That's also wrong.
They came to your office.
No,
it
they
was your
didn't.
official office. You
No, they
met with them
didn't.
for 54 minutes.
No, they didn't.
asked you for help. You pledged it to them, and they talked repeatedly about money. In fact, it's all they talked
That's
about.
a lie.
Money, 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 money. They
True.
said, we
Untrue.
will put our dollars in the right place. We will support candidates that will fight to protect our interests. You replied, that's right. They said, if you are securing your donor base and securing your power base, you can act the way you want. You replied, money is freedom. They said the amount of money circulating, I'm reading the transcript, the amount of money circulating in our community today is powerful, and we haven't realizing it in a meaningful way. And you said, give me the specifics. And 9 days later, you took $10,000
that's a lie.
from people who were then indicted. It's in your reports. Why'd you do it?
Sir,
was it worth it?
You know what? This is a theatrical performance.
10,000. This is the truth.
It
This is
has
what
nothing
accountability
to do-
looks like, of which you've had none. You helped fraudsters defraud your state and this government of $9 billion, and you got a fat campaign contribution out of it. You ought to be indicted.
True. Well,
that's the truth.
I think we've made the point. Let's keep the tenor
Well,
just
for
a
the
little more
record,
calm.
I'll ask how I want
he's
to,
lying,
Senator Paul.
and that's the truth.
Oh no, this is all on the record,
no, sir.
Did you bother to? Did you bother to investigate where the money that you facilitated their fraud for, where it went? Do you know where it went, what it was used for, the fraudulent money? I do, because we just heard testimony about it yesterday.
Because we
the
were
funds
key
went
players
to
in the
hundreds of millions of
investigation.
dollars to terrorist
Yes, we
groups,
do
to
know.
transnational criminal organizations, to the drug trade, to drug trafficking, to child trafficking. And you took $10,000.
That's a lie.
And helped them do it.
Whoa.
So they only have to do is look up at the campaign records.
Yeah.
It's all there. So you have an attorney general here that has just gone really off the wall. So here's, folks, gosh, I wish we had time to do this.
Yeah.
But understand this. The Democrats who find themselves in these conditions have been trained to filibuster, to break up the conversation. This is not a guy responding. This is a guy been trained to do this so that the full sentence of what Senator Hawley is saying never really gets completed.
Right.
They're trained to do this.
Right.
And especially if you're an attorney, you're really gifted at doing this. This attorney general in Minnesota is a crook.
Yes. Yes. And how can he?
And you've got all the records. And why he isn't indicted is kind of the ministry.
How can he argue his words in the transcript? I don't get that.
It's their own transcript.
Yes.
I mean, if it goes to a court of law, the transcript comes up.
Exactly. This is just...
It just shows you, look, they're pulling the covers off. One of the greatest messes in the United States history as it relates to government and funds going into a state and being misused. That's called fraud. And so we'll see where this goes. But boy, this guy needs to, he needs, first of all, he needs to be impeached. And secondly, probably indicted, because he just lied against his own testimony.
Right.
He just purged himself.
I was going to say, didn't he just do it in Congress? Yeah, at this committee.
Isn't that amazing? All right, we'll take a
deep breath.
You know, back there's two things, and over here there's one.
I know.
So, your choice.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Ryan Robertson, host of a brand new program on theDove, Ministries on the Move. Ministries on the Move spotlights the incredible work of how God is using everyday people and organizations, putting their faith into action, serving the hurting, strengthening families, and sharing the hope of the gospel in practical ways. Be inspired and discover these ministries on the move. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m., right here on theDove TV. Encouraging and informative. More at thedove.us.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Welcome back. About 5 minutes before the top of the hour. Got John Gizzi coming up in a little bit. Looking forward to him. He is the chief correspondent for Newsmax at the White House.
All right. Well, I have a rescue story, and this time the hero is a neighborhood dog.
In January, Louisville Metro Police launched an urgent search after a toddler was reported missing. Officers combed the area on foot while a drone and helicopters searched from above. With freezing temperatures and such a young child involved, the situation was critical. Then, Officer Josh Thompson says something remarkable happened. A dog suddenly appeared and began barking at him, almost as if urging him to hurry. The dog then led officers to a nearby backyard, stopping beside a parked vehicle. Inside, they found the missing boy, cold and scared, but unharmed. The child was quickly reunited with his family, even wrapping his arms around the officer who found him. Police say their four-legged friend reminded them that heroes come in all forms.
Woof. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
What a great story. Yeah. All right, the great story, our great verse for you as you head into the weekend. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9. Eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor has it even entered into the heart of man the things that God has prepared for those who love him. In other words, folks, heaven is beyond human comprehension. The only indication we have is this thing called Streets of Gold.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, there's a little view of heaven. That's the Rogue Valley this morning from the top of Roxy Inn. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
Little everything going on there. All right, have a great weekend.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, barbecue platters, sides, and more. Smoked, grilled, and served to perfection. Sweet Tea Express, breakfast, burgers, and barbecue.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
When I was a teenager, I remember I was taken to Johns Hopkins Hospital for surgery. I was frightened at the idea of being paralyzed for the rest of my life. I was only a kid. Well, they pushed my gurney into the old hospital lobby and parked me at the foot of this big statue. I looked up breathless. It was a massive marble figure of Christ with outstretched arms. At its base were the words of Jesus from Matthew 11. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. That day I was placed directly at the feet of Jesus, and I will never forget the warm embrace of his outstretched arms. I would replay that moment so many times, it became part of my healing. Friend, today, picture yourself at the feet of Christ, because he can lift your burden.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Put your gold in an envelope, mail it. Hopefully you get a check. No. Father and son jewelry, bring your gold in, we weigh it, we check it, we make you the offer.
Or turn your something old into something new. Whether it's an idea, a picture, or a piece you want to duplicate, we can melt it down and make it for you.
And if you find your perfect piece in store, trade your something old for something new, and you always get a little extra.
Visit Father and Son Jewelry, 5 generations of family in Medford.
Fish Lake Resort has everything you need to make fun memories and traditions all winter long. Join us every Saturday night for prime rib dinner. Explore our scenic winter trails. Enjoy some great fishing, or spend all day playing in the snow, and then settle in for a cozy night in one of our warm winter cabins. Visit fishlakeresort.net today to plan your visit.
You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for Redding and the North State. Seen on KRDT 23, KDRC 26, Channel 16, Channel 29, and these Dove TV affiliates.
Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and wow, am I so honored to have with us today a gentleman that was really all over our network yesterday on CBN News as he was a guest there, and his name is Joshua Phillip. He's an award-winning journalist and senior investigative reporter there at Epoch Times. He's the host of Crossroads, which was a news and analysis program on Epoch TV. His work includes breakthrough investigations into the origins of COVID-19 and the Wuhan laboratory there in the early days of all of that and the pandemic. And now he's really seen as one of the amazing people who really has a handle on what's going on in Iran. By the way, he does have a website, and it's called theepochtimes.com, and there's a picture of that landing page. Joshua, good to have you back, friend. How are you?
It's a real pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Your report yesterday was stunning. I mean, I watched this 2 or 3 times, and I'm going, wow. The insight that you had of what's going on in Iran is amazing. Maybe you can highlight it for our audience again.
Yeah. So the Trump administration right now is talking about maybe making, trade deals with Iran, maybe bringing them down to the table. A lot of this has to do with the talks around the nuclear weapons. Iran, of course, is trying to rebuild them. Israel's saying that's a red line. They're saying they're not going to let it happen. I believe personally Trump has something else going on. So to paint the picture, here's what's taking place. The Iranian regime looks like it's at the end of the rope, right? Mass protests on the streets, accusations from Trump that they're actually killing tens of thousands of protesters on the streets of Iran. Trump was looking like he was going to be launching military attacks to decapitate the Iranian leadership. Backed off last minute. Some of the word we have coming out was they were not guaranteed a complete collapse of the Iranian regime if they had done it. We know that Russia had landed vehicles, aircraft there. We're not sure what happened. My assumption would be it's very similar to what happened with Syria, where Assad was evacuated, given a job in Russia. My assumption is this. The Iranian key leadership and probably Russian agents and maybe some Chinese were taken out of the country. I would assume the government is working in exile, but masquerading as if they're currently present, meaning they don't fear leadership decapitation. They don't fear what happened in Maduro, where special operations forces go in there, abduct him, and put him on trial in New York City. They believe, I think, that they can keep the whole show going, maybe indefinitely, without risking being overthrown. The Trump administration, I think, understands this also. And they understand also that while Iran probably will not follow, the agreements of a nuclear deal, because Trump has said it before, having that type of engagement you can make a deal that looks like that on the surface, but has a lot more to it. And I think Trump right now is trying to negotiate something to not get rid of the Iranian leadership, but negate what their regime represents on the global stage against the U.S.
Okay, let's unpack this. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu comes out of the meeting, and I'm paraphrasing. He basically says, I understand what the president's trying to do, but I also understand you can't make a deal with these people. So he didn't come out totally happy, right?
That is true. So, Israel's always had a very strong stance against Iran. America pretty much backed them up when they were destroying the Iranian nuclear programs. When you had the back and forth, Israel was, of course, launching targeted strikes on Iran. Iran was launching, hundreds of missiles against Israel, and the Iron Dome was intercepting those. America was supporting Israel by supplying, of course, some of the missiles for the Iron Dome. And when Israel did the full counter and launched the attacks to wipe out most of the Iranian nuclear programs, Trump had assessed they did not have the capability to wipe out the deep underground ones. And You could say that, Netanyahu basically gave Trump the alley-oop and Trump slam dunked it and hit them hard and took the whole thing out. Israel would like to see that continue. I think for them, they view Iran as an existential threat. The Trump administration, I think, understands that toppling a government in that region does not necessarily create a better government. Sometimes you get a worse government. Sometimes you take out one group and you get ISIS. Sometimes you take out, a Saddam Hussein, and you end up with a new monopoly of power like we have with Iran. Sometimes these countries counterbalance each other. And so I think Trump views the maintaining of a leadership, but getting it to come to heel using financial pressure, using political pressure, maybe making deals, getting them on board with surrounding countries and other existing deals, maybe the best option, not just trying to take them out and hoping something better takes over.
Is it true that the leadership is transferring money out of the country?
I think that's been true for a long time.
Okay.
Based on what we're told, yes, that is true. But we also see this anytime these regimes are having trouble. My personal assumption is that my personal assumption is this, and this is based purely on my just kind of reading the tea leaves. So to speak. I believe that the reason Trump cannot be guaranteed leadership decapitation with targeted strikes in Iran is because key leadership has already left the country. And I believe that money left with them, that they took a lot of their wealth with them when they left.
Okay. In the meantime, has the president backed himself into a corner when he said to the citizens, "We have your back," but the genocide has now risen to tens of thousands?
Some believe it may have, because the Iranian people are out on the street protesting, and it seemed to be the case that they had briefly become very pro-America, invoking Donald Trump, invoking, kind of the American idea became part of the protest. And then the Iranian regime went out and just massacred them. There are reports they're even going to the hospitals and just killing people in the hospitals now. The number dead is massive. You're having what would constitute basically a full-scale genocide in terms of numbers and including percentages. For them, they had anticipated that America would have done the targeted strikes. The big issue is, Trump did not. And of course, does that mean that the people there have turned against us? Were they for us or against us before? I don't know. I think they never really liked us. But Trump may have lost some key opportunities with the Iranian people by not doing that. That is a very likely scenario.
The other part of the equation, Joshua, is that this genuinely seems to be a citizens' revolt. It's not led by an alternative leader. Is that a factor?
Well, there is the son of the former Shah. You could call him the former crown prince, who is trying to become the unofficial government in exile. It does look to be the case that if the Iranian regime were to collapse, he would probably be the number one option. But for the most part, this is a leaderless movement. He has roughly, I believe, last polling about 30% support in Iran. People may say that's all, but that's actually pretty good. What is Trump polling at right now? 30, 40%, depending on who you ask. Mm-hmm. Some say higher, but I'm just saying polling tends to not be that reliable. You can consolidate a government on about 30, 40% polling. But in terms of the people of Iran, I think a lot of this has to do with the lowering of quality of life. They're having a water crisis. They're having a food crisis. They're having the reality that people can't make a living. They don't have opportunities. I think Trump has understood a key principle that if you cut off the money is not just cutting it off to the regime. Cutting off the money affects basic quality of life. And when quality of life drops to a certain degree, people might protest. And so I think Trump is actually weaponizing maybe civil unrest through the influence of sanctions and other methods impacting their finances.
In the meantime, the president's reached out and tried to create this friendly relationship with Qatar. Saudi Arabia has backed away from the accord.
It might be back on the table. The hard reality for a lot of these countries, they know better than we do how to deal with radical Islam. Mm-hmm. And if you talk about Qatar and Saudi Arabia, in America, we tend to not really regard these countries that different from one to the next. But these countries do not internally have real serious terrorism problems. they tend to crack down on the radicals with a pretty heavy iron fist. We like to think that democracy is the best option for the Middle East, but frankly, the working model is not democracy. Hamas is a democratically led government. It seems that dictatorship or a king, a monarchy, tends to be the weird working model for them, and they tend to not tolerate the radicals. I believe that Saudi Arabia backing off the Abraham Accords is not a permanent strategy, but I think they do face a real issue that public sentiment in the Muslim world, does not have a favorable position right now in Israel. I think that they would believe that could change as soon as the war ends with Hamas, and when that whole situation gets cleared up. But right now, I don't think they view it as a stable decision.
What message is being sent by sending the USS George H.W. Bush aircraft carrier in? Now, we got 2 of them in there. That's quite a physical military intimidation statement.
Yeah, well, if you're a small dictatorship and you see that roll up on your shore, you're probably going to have a bad day. So there's a few points with this. First of all, Iran was becoming a bit aggressive. They were trying to seize American oil tankers. They were going after American shipments. I think that Trump putting a strong naval force there sends a message: try it again and see what happens. I don't think Trump would tolerate it. That also gives a threat to Iran that, hey, it wasn't that long ago that you saw B-2 bombers fly over and blow up your underground bunker that you thought was indestructible. Of course, they're not going to be launching B-2s off of aircraft carriers, but you would launch these supporting aircraft from that. Not only that, but you can do targeted missile bombardments. The aircraft carrier is effectively like a mobile military, and the full weight of the American fighting force could come off that thing, and we could do it without losing a single man. The fighting force of America, in terms of air control, in terms of naval power and naval bombardments, is massive.
So, what would be the target if the leadership is left?
Well, I think that's actually why we're not seeing that happen. I think that what Trump did with Maduro in Venezuela, where he showed we don't need to go to war. Remember what almost happened in Venezuela? They were preparing to go to full-scale war with the United States. They were doing military exercises. They were rallying the troops. They were preparing. They were, putting their, kind of stupid looking, but they were putting guys with like Kalashnikovs on the shore, like they're going to shoot American war boats coming in, with Kalashnikovs. But the message they were sending is, we're going to fight a long war with you. And then Trump says, no, we're not going to fight a long war. We're going to launch, this rapid military strike, not lose a single man, hit you with what he called the discombobulator, which apparently was a sonic weapon, kill your guys like it's going out of style, and then capture your leader and fly him to New York and put him on trial. That was a huge shot over the bow, because I don't think we've ever seen that probably ever done in what could have been a large-scale war. And Trump sent a message to all these regimes: you could be next. And so I think that their best option was, I personally believe, this is purely my own analysis, but I personally believe, to evacuate the leadership of Iran, bring them to another country, I believe Russia or China, and avoid that possible scenario. And so, and I think that is why we're not seeing Trump try to do leadership decapitation, because right now it's not really possible, the way I see it.
Let me take a quick break. This is fascinating. Check out Josh's website. The epochtimes.com is the website. Check it out there. Look for his program called Crossroads there on Epoch TV. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with some more questions.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
When plumbing emergencies hit, and they do, you want help from a plumber you can trust, and you need it now. Onnit Plumbing to the rescue. Onnit Plumbing gets the job done right with integrity and quality craftsmanship. Onnit Plumbing offers military discounts, senior discounts, and discounts for KDOV listeners too. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Onnit Plumbing, CCB 229436. No job too big or small. Onnit Plumbing does them all. See us at onnitplumbing.net. onnitplumbing.net.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
Hi, I'm Ryan Robertson, host of a brand new program on theDove, Ministries on the Move. Ministries on the Move spotlights the incredible work of how God is using everyday people and organizations, putting their faith into action, serving the hurting, strengthening families, and sharing the hope of the gospel in practical ways. Be inspired and discover these Ministries on the Move. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m., right here on theDove TV. Encouraging and informative. More at thedove.us.
Okay, welcome back. Boy, what an honor to have with us. Very timely. Josh Phillips back with us today, award-winning journalist and senior investigative reporter there for Epoch Times. And check out his own television show there on Epoch Television called Crossroads. And of course, the website there is the epochtimes.com. Thank you again, Josh, for your time. This is just amazing. Let me ask you this. The president and the prime minister got together, and obviously a lot going on. And where do you think Israel is now in this? If a strike doesn't seem to be in the immediate future, where does this leave Israel?
Well, Israel's facing a very difficult position because, let's put it this way, terrorism is not solely limited to the groups that we see on the surface. A lot of terrorism they're facing is coming from nation states. It's coming, Iran is kind of the puppeteer of this. Israel very clearly understands this. For example, the reimbursements for terrorists when they carry out attacks comes from Iran. Iran, of course, is behind Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a much greater fighting force than Hamas is. I know, talking to various sources, including some Israeli sources, when Israel was fighting Hezbollah, not Hamas, but, in different countries around them, they were having a rough time. They were dealing with a much more heavily trained, much more well-trained, much more heavily armed network of terrorists. And, for them, Iran represents kind of the source of their problem, so to speak, as far as they see it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they believe their children will never be fully safe until the Iranian regime collapses. And so when they see Trump saying, well, we'll fix the problem by making business deals and political deals, Israel, I think they think they're never going to be safe as long as that regime exists. For the United States, so the question is, well, what does it mean to take them out? Like, how do you even achieve that? Obviously, there needs to be some kind of long-term solution, a deal of some kind. And Trump, I think, believes that he can achieve that without having to go to large-scale war.
Okay, I want to come to the core of that in just a moment. But if Israel's red line is no nukes, and if Iran's red line is nukes and missiles, and the leadership has left, and the genocide is still continuing, it appears to me there's still a target there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, so there's a couple ways to view this. The biggest thing I would look at, and I know this, I've been a journalist for 2 decades now, and I've been an investigative journalist for close to 2 decades. I've come to understand something very important, which is what you're being told on the surface is not often the true story. especially when it comes to national security. Sometimes there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and sometimes there's a narrative they give to the press, which is not representative of the actual truth of the situation. Why am I saying this? It's because we know Trump's previous words. Trump previously said you don't make a deal with Iran. Trump previously, not his exact words, but generally speaking, Trump recognized they do not follow agreements when it comes to nuclear weapons. He knows that Obama made a deal like that. They did not follow it. He knows that this has been the discussion with, Biden, and they did not follow it. Trump also knows something very important. What did work with Iran was financial pressure. The Iranian regime was risking the same thing we're seeing now, mass civil unrest because of finances during Obama's administration. Iran then went and captured American sailors and took hostages, and Obama paid the ransom with literally pallets of cash was the narrative when it was true. Same thing with Trump when he was in office the first time. Trump put heavy sanctions on Iran. It was strangling out the regime. They were going to collapse. And then when Biden came in, he made a deal with them. He unleashed a lot of the money that was held up in sanctions. And the Iranian regime came back and they renewed all their nuclear programs, and they also restored the networks of global terrorism. And Trump was criticizing them for making, the Biden administration for making that decision, because he said, obviously, this is what was going to happen. So I believe Trump coming in now and looking like he's going to repeat the same thing Biden did, I believe he knows this because, again, he said it previously. I believe he knows what he's doing because he's raised these exact concerns. And unless to be fair, some people might say, well, maybe he's just trying to win political brownie points, but I don't personally think he thinks like that. But again, people can come to their own conclusion on that. But I will say that Trump understands this because he said it previous.
Okay, so given that, and their recent meeting this week, the Prime Minister and the President, obviously they had to coordinate everything, what's going on. And if there is an attack on Iran, the first target from Iran would be Israel. So they have to coordinate responses and attacks. I get all that. I guess the bottom line here is, it appears, if I understand what you're saying, an attack is inevitable.
Well, so this is the other problem we have with these types of attacks. I think Trump has kind of introduced a new factor in the art of war, which is leadership decapitation. That's not something we've really seen countries do before, at least not with the type of targeted capabilities we're seeing from Trump. Any kind of large-scale missile exchange with Iran, any kind of large-scale war, will very easily result in what we've seen over and over and over again with our wars in the Middle East, which is insurgency. Iran knows very clearly, just like they do with Hamas, just like they did with Hezbollah, just like ISIS did, just like Al-Qaeda did, that if you can play up certain narratives within the Muslim world, you can radicalize people. You can get people picking up guns and joining a war and carrying out terror attacks and joining the new jihad because that's what gets people moving. When they don't have a jihad, they fight each other. These are tribalist countries. And so Trump doesn't want to trigger that. You do not want to trigger that. And so I think they're very cautious of launching any kind of large-scale strikes. They cannot risk an insurgency because in our experience, that has never been something you can really fully put down. It's an ongoing problem that will never solve itself.
So where does this particular state that we're in with Iran, we got a huge military presence there right now. You got Israel on the edge. What role does Russia and China play in this equation?
Well, so this is kind of the bigger picture with it. Iran is not just a standalone country. For the Chinese Communist Party, Iran is a proxy. It's a proxy to extend influence and power throughout the Middle East. It's a proxy to weaponize terrorist networks globally. It's a proxy not even just in the Middle East, but even in Latin America. Hezbollah has huge influence throughout Latin America. There are Hezbollah political parties. For example, Peru has an actual Hezbollah political party. They have huge influence throughout Brazil. They have huge influence in Mexico even. They're tied in with the drug cartels, especially the narco-terrorist organizations. I know as an investigative reporter going back over a decade, I was aware and I was told that there were even Hezbollah training camps in Tijuana in Mexico. They were working with the cartels on IEDs, improvised explosive devices, and also with tunnel building for drug trafficking. A lot of drug money is also terrorism money. And the reason they work on that too is because they want to have control to an extent over the drug trafficking networks. Because, you know, if you control the smuggling networks and the human trafficking networks, you can also use them to smuggle weapons. You can also use them to smuggle in terrorists. And you know, there's been a lot of video footage suggesting this has been happening for a very long time. The other thing Iran has is assassination networks. We saw this, for example, in Washington, D.C., where Iranian agents were arrested and accused of trying to work with, different networks they were hiring to carry out. For example, they wanted to launch attacks, I believe, on an Israeli embassy, and even targeting Israeli officials. And then after that, we're going to carry out terrorist attacks. We saw the same thing in New York City, where Iranian agents were arrested after trying to, again, contract an assassination of an Iranian independent journalist who's critical of the regime. And they were working with what? Well, they were working with Eastern European mafia organizations to do the hits. So, you know, the potential of Hezbollah terror attacks, of direct Iranian regime working through their networks, even through gangs, targeted assassinations, global influence in the drug trade, cartel influence, networks throughout Latin America when it comes to corruption, Hezbollah networks globally, not even just in the countries I've mentioned. They're a pretty big power, and this goes beyond just viewing them as like a military power with the missiles in Israel. This is a very threatening global power that I think Trump is very cautious of triggering. But for China and Russia, that's part of their global triad of power. Iran is a very important, third wheel type piece with all this.
Okay. That shouldn't preclude cutting the head off the snake, though, should it?
Yeah, and okay, and again, back to the point. I think that was Trump's first option. I think Trump, after of course Maduro in Venezuela, was like, hey, we have the Don Road doctrine now, as he was calling it. I think Trump realized you can achieve rapid political success and avoid a full-scale war by just taking out the leader. I think that would have been Trump's preferred option with Iran. I think there's a few things you need to consider when doing that. What will the support or backlash be globally? What will the support or backlash be domestically? And I think, with Maduro in Venezuela, Trump understood that Maduro was not a popular figure. He lost the vote. He lost the elections there and basically said he's going to stay in power anyways. He was crushing his people. They did not like him. Meaning he could do it without causing any kind of real backlash among the populace in Venezuela. Same thing with Iran. The mullahs there are not popular. There's a very heavy divide between the leadership and the people of Iran. Very heavy leadership, even globally. Mm-hmm. And I think Trump believed that, you cut the head off the snake's going to die. And that would have been an easy strike. But for some reason, and I've given my take on why that might be, I think they left.
Yeah.
I think Trump is not regarding that as an option currently.
Because my concern is that, given the scenario you're giving, this is just remarkable information. We're slowly being intimidated to do nothing.
Yeah. Well. So we're not being intimidated to do nothing. So Trump is pulling out his other, you could call it the Trump card, which is the financial card. Trump has made a very big discovery, which is, he is a businessman. And he knows how to make business deals. And if you want to make a business deal, you put financial pressure on people. What is Trump's favorite tool now?
Tariff.
Well, for a lot of countries, it's tariffs. For countries that don't like us, it's sanctions. And Trump is coming to understand that you can put pressure internally on a country by damaging the finances. Trump could squeeze Iran financially and basically cause a leadership collapse by turning the people of the country against the leadership. Trump right now is even putting pressure on countries trading with Iran which would include Russia, which would include China, which would include even India. They buy a lot of Iranian oil. And he's even saying that, if you want to buy stuff from Iran, we're going to go after you too. So he is economically strangling out the leadership. And, we'll see what that results in.
Yeah,
but it's going to result in mass civil unrest at the very least.
Okay, one other thing, and I'm out of time, but one other thing that I read, I don't know what to believe. That's why I have guys like you on here to help straighten it out. Okay, let's say there was, this is hypothetical, but if there was an attack against the leadership inside Iran, followed by instant sanctions on Russia, China, India, and Iran. I mean, it's like it's military and economics all in one shot. Possibility?
Very big possibility, because these countries also represent the BRICS nations. India, they're kind of on our side, they're kind of not. They're actually probably closer to Russia than they are to the U.S. But they're part of BRICS, and China using BRICS, and Russia using BRICS, and Iran using BRICS, and India is part of that. They're trying to establish an alternate world order that does push out the United States, or makes America one seat at the global table. Trump regards that as just as much of an enemy as each of these individual countries.
Yeah.
I think for him, this is a holistic view. We tend to view these things one country at a time, but it's not like that. This is kind of an all-at-once thing, and Trump, I think, is trying to negate the overall threat, not just the one country type.
Well, I have to say, Joshua, you've done an excellent job explaining that. Thank you. I value the time greatly. I hope that we can stay connected. Are you going to be at the NRB next week, by any chance?
I will be, yeah.
I'll see you there.
Talk then.
I'll see you there. Okay. God bless you, friend. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Ministries on the Move spotlights how God is using everyday people and organizations to bring light, love, and transformation to others through inspiring conversations and real-life stories. Join me Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on theDove TV.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him there's no other, 'cause Jesus is the way. Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him there's no other, 'cause Jesus is the way. Sing along.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Here's a recipe for a great morning. Get plenty of rest. Spend quality time with God. Have a good breakfast. Then add a generous helping of Perry, Jerry, and Mornings on the Dove. They'll get you ready for the day with encouragement and information.
Good morning to you. Happy Monday. Here we are.
Mixing in the latest news, weather to plan your day, an inspiring reminder from God's Word, baked with timely insights and discussions on today's headlines.
Do you realize how many headlines are out there this morning?
Oh, man. And of course, lots of laughs, fun, and encouragement they're famous for.
That is no joke, Barry. That's not a joke. That's real. You gotta go. I've seen pictures of that.
To bring you a smile before you start the day. Make Mornings on the Dove part of your morning recipe.
Anyway, good morning to you.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 a.m. only on the Dove TV and radio. Encouraging and informative. More at the Dove.
Okay, welcome back. Well, it's been a long time, and I always just consider it an honor, honestly, when we have time to sit down with John Gizzi. He's probably one of the most well-knowledged political guys in the country. He's a veteran political columnist, and he's the White House correspondent for Newsmax, and he and I go back 922 years. The website is newsmax.com. Of course, we're proud to be an associate with Newsmax in so many ways, and so good to have John with us today. Brother John, good to see you, friend. How are you, buddy?
Brother Perry, I couldn't be better now that I'm with you.
Oh, you're the man. You look pretty relaxed. You got your cup of coffee. You're doing good. All right, a lot to talk about in a short amount of time. We're heading into the midterms. The president's indicated that he's going to do some barnstorming across the country. If he doesn't win this midterm, I guess his agenda comes to the halt. The only thing he'll have left is his veto pin. But is his endorsement being courted by Republicans?
Absolutely. It remains the gold standard in Republican contests for office. One sees a relatively modest turnout, but people who like the president's agenda turn out for candidates that he has blessed. And I've seen where the Republican establishment is upended solely because the candidate was the candidate of Donald Trump. And we're seeing it now in contested primaries for the House and Senate. And I'd say his batting average is worthy of the major leagues.
Okay, I got to get you to lean a little bit closer to your computer. We're losing a little audio there. Okay, no worries. Thanks, John. The other question is, in the recent couple of elections around the countryside, the left victories have been kind of interesting in some of the local races, New Jersey, New York, even recently in Texas. What's your thoughts?
Well, my thought is that after decades of covering midterm elections or special elections after a president has been elected, it's inevitable that the opposition party would be on the rebound. I saw it with Ronald Reagan in his first year when Democrats gained in local races. Steny Hoyer was elected to Congress in a special election in Maryland that year. Richard Nixon oversaw the Republicans losing 5 of 6 special elections for the House in his first year. And guess what? These presidents went on to win again comfortably when they were up for election. It really has no impact. It's just that when you have a special election, it's the only game in town, and the opposition can rally support nationwide, whether it's a state Senate race in Texas, a race for Congress in New Jersey, or any of these contests.
Okay. So we had Trump 1.0, then we had Biden 1.0, now we got Trump 2.0. Kind of an interesting scenario as we head into this, and he wins the election not only electorally but population-wise. Has that faded?
Well, I think any time a president has been in more than a year, the glitz and the glow in his election fade. I certainly saw this in 2017. Donald Trump had a tremendous upset over Hillary Clinton and had both the House and the Senate in his corner. But soon, his followers begin to wonder, what has he done lately? And in the enthusiasm dims. In the meantime, the opposition, its hand-wringing, its tears are over. They are in a fighting mode to win. As I said, I've seen it before. The luster will always fade after a while. Now, if you go back and look at the big, beautiful bill, after the passage of it, Trump was riding high. After the Saturday morning raid in Venezuela that started that country on a path to democracy, the president was in very stable condition. We'll see what happens in the future.
Okay. All right. So the president's got two things going that are really biting his attention. One is the economy, and the other one is his foreign policy. Let's talk about the economy just for a moment. All indications are 2026 could be a record-breaker year in so many ways, especially with the Dow now topping 50,000. However, the word affordability is out there, and even though the economy looks to be strong, the price of milk and bread is still high. How do you think this is going to play out?
Well, as long as there's an affordability crisis, as you put it, Perry, the president and the Republicans are going to be blamed for it. Now, I would suggest that after April 15th, a lot of middle class and upper middle class taxpayers will find that they're getting refunds that they didn't expect. The impact of the big, beautiful bill will be felt, and that should be very helpful to the president and his party.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's go to the foreign policy just for a moment, John. As you know, all eyes are on Iran. We had an amazing event out of Venezuela, and of course, Mordeau now is sitting in a jail cell over there in New York. But the genocide in Iran continues. We got an amazing military presence there now, especially with the second aircraft carrier, George H.W. Bush, on the scene. And yet the president doesn't seem to be anxious to do anything. How's this playing out in your mind?
Well, I'm in touch with the Iranian opposition groups within the United States. Most recently, I covered a meeting of the Iran Revolutionary Council, which is the largest coalition of opponents of the regime within the American diaspora. They are anxious for some kind of a strike to reinvigorate the protests, which are still going on right now. Ali Safadi, a top official of the opposition, told me that the protesters have mastered the art of seizing Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps headquarters and getting their hands on the guns. That's why in the films that are smuggled back to supporters of a free Iran, you see them firing back the military. So my guess is this momentum cannot be left to wither and die. And that will take, the Iranian opponents say, a strike from the United States, not unlike that took out Iran's nuclear facilities.
I just had Josh Philippov, and part of his testimony, or at least his investigation, let me put it that way, is saying that a lot of the leadership money has been transferred out of the country. And that's been proven and even mentioned by Secretary Bessent. He's followed the money, leaving the country by the millions. Some have even suggested that a lot of the leadership has already left the country, and that this thing could be being run in a surrogate way. Therefore, who do you strike?
Well, If it is run in a surrogate way, then the Revolutionary Guards and the people who are charged with genocide, whose crimes reliable reports say, including going into hospitals and killing those who were wounded in the protests, they're going to have to wonder, what are we fighting for if these people have fled the country already? And if that's the case, you will see a drop in morale, and what is feared the most by the regime in Tehran, which is desertion of some of the guards to the opposition.
Interesting. All right, let me take a quick break. Always an honor to have our good friend John Gizzi with us. He's the chief political columnist and the White House correspondent for Newsmax. And of course, we're honored to be partnering with Newsmax in so many ways. We even had Chris Ruddy on the show on many occasions. Yes. Go to Newsmax.com. That's the website. And of course, you can watch Newsmax on one of the Dove sub-channels here. And of course, you'll see the reports throughout the day here. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
The Dove is shining with a brand new show, Season to Shine.
I'm Melinda Robertson, host of Season to Shine, a new heartfelt, inspiring program for women designed to bring encouragement, wisdom, and hope into your everyday life. We'll help you discover God's purpose in every season, empowering you to shine with confidence, faith, and joy. It's your season to shine. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 4 p.m. on the Dove TV. More at thedove.us.
At Max Mobile Storage, the commitment is simple: to offer unmatched convenience and reliability in storage. Max Mobile Storage delivers containers right to your doorstep, making storage easy and hassle-free. Founded in 2012 in Medford, Oregon, we sell, rent, and fabricate top-quality shipping containers for homes and businesses. Locally owned and operated, we're proud to serve our community with friendly, reliable service you can trust. More information at maxmobilestorage.com. maxmobilestorage.com.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Ecclesiastes 3:11 says this: God has planted eternity in the human heart. But even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to end. Now, I want you to notice that verse. Notice it says, God has planted eternity in the human heart. What does that mean? It means that no matter where you are in the world, no matter what religion somebody has, human beings have a God-given, built-in instinct to realize there's got to be more to life than just here and now. Eternity was put in our hearts. We got to think, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be more to life after death. Why does every religion believe there's life after death? Because God wired us that way. You were made for more than just the here and now.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Okay, welcome back. An honor to have with us John Gizzi. John and I go back 322 years. Anyways, chief political columnist and White House correspondent for Newsmax. And of course, we're proud to partner with Newsmax in so many ways. And you can go to newsmax.com. And John, I did send Chris a little note about his testimony before the House Committee on the cap rates for television. And told him thank you. But if you see him in the hallways, would you just underscore that for me?
I certainly will.
Okay, good stuff. I want to come to ICE. How damaging has this whole ICE thing been to the Republicans?
Well, whenever someone is killed, it's going to cause damage, particularly to the people that the public believes are behind the killing. In this case, the ICE agents who were in Minnesota. And look, ICE is now being pulled out of Minneapolis. So I think certainly this has been done a lot to slow the goal of ICE, which is to round up the criminals, those who are here illegally and are dangerous threat to this country, and have them deported. The sad part is that they were doing such a good job, particularly along the Texas border. And I'm sure you've seen Jason Jones's report from right on the border, in which there was such success in deporting the criminal element that the amount of self-deportation was going up monthly. ICE was doing its job. Now, it doesn't look as promising as it was.
Okay, looks like things are calming down there in the Twin Cities. ICE is pretty much pulled out, and there's a lot of talk about even they cooperated there for a while. They went in and got a lot of people literally out of the jails and deported them. The bottom line, what's left now in Minnesota is the fraud. And all that attention now is back to the fraud, which clearly leads you to believe that the ICE flap was nothing more than a subterfuge to get it away from the fraud, and now the fraud's back on the scene. And some of the testimony yesterday on Capitol Hill was pretty hot when they had the Attorney General there. And the fraud thing seems to be very real. From your perspective, how messy is this?
Pretty messy. The fact is, Perry, that many people who believe that charitable donations were going to help those who were truly needy from Somalia learn that their money, and indeed tax dollars, were going to benefit and underwrite a luxurious lifestyle for those who were running these charities. And my guess is there's evidence the same thing occurred in Michigan and other states. There is an entire network of fraud in the name of charity that's been operating for some time. And in the process, political associates of Congresswoman Omar, Attorney General Keith Ellison, and outgoing Governor Tim Walz get fat and happy with this.
Do they get indicted?
The U.S. Attorney is headed in that direction, Mr. Martin, and we will see.
There's indication that California could dwarf what's happening in Minnesota. Did your resources tell you that?
Not yet, but it wouldn't surprise me. California has always had a problem with illegal immigrants. So the idea that the network dealing with Somali is probably operating in California and other states. We will soon get over the idea that this is just a Minnesota-based operation, and we will see evidence of it in other states.
Yeah. So that does leave me with Governor Gavin Newsom. He obviously is clearly running for president, and most of the polls show him as kind of the guy at the moment. It probably doesn't surprise me that the D's will go with him, but how can he shake his record in California?
I don't think he can. And I know the late Republican National Chairman Lee Edwards told President George H.W. Bush, be careful of Governor Clinton of Arkansas, and we have to start preparing to attack him now. And this was in 1990 when Atwater died unexpectedly. And campaign against Governor Clinton was never truly prepared. And now you know the rest of the story. But in the case of Gavin Newsom, I think you will hear a lot about his record. And I don't believe he'll be nominated by the Democrats.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because that's got to be part of the primary campaign, his record in California. So one other question before I run out of time. I've had a lot of people on about the Epstein case, and I'm just trying to figure out in my mind, why is this salacious story still in the news? And why not full disclosure here? What's going on, Coach?
Two things. First of all, I'll soundbite it, as Ross Perot used to say. Sex sells, and there is interest. Of a sex scandal involving the rich and powerful, the public is inevitably attracted. In the United Kingdom, the whole Epstein involvement with Prime Minister Starmer's choice of ambassador to the United States, Lord Peter Mandelson, came perilously close last week to bringing down Starmer's government. And this is a case where someone used information while he was a cabinet minister and got it to Epstein to help his private business interests in Europe. And he finds himself being appointed ambassador to the United States later. It was a big embarrassment for the prime minister. In the United States, we just know that there's a lot of people who were photographed with Jeffrey Epstein, and that raises the question, what laws did they break to benefit this person?
Okay, one other quick question there, John. Do you think, from what you understand about this case, that the State Department's involved with him through the years?
Everybody was involved with him, Perry. He was one of these people. He was a friend of the rich and famous, and that led him to become a friend of the powerful in office. And so many people went to his island, so many people are photographed with him. I mean, people like this are narcissistic usually, and they like to have their picture with the famous people. Seeing this on television. So was he involved with people in government? The circumstantial evidence points in that direction. And I would say if he needed help for anything, he certainly had the friends who could get the right people on the phone fast.
I you know, given your experience and your ability, John, I don't know how you sleep at night. You need to write a book, buddy.
Chris Ruddy and others are leaning on me to do it. And let me do a little advertising, Perry, before we go.
Okay.
I just finished helping former Congressman Bob Livingston finish a book on lawfare and how honest and capable people, such as former Governor Bob McDonnell of Virginia, were destroyed by a Justice Department with unlimited resources.
Wow.
So that is done and coming out any day now.
Okay.
And my book will be next.
All right. Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you a bunch. And let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out newsmax.com. And of course, the rest of history there, doing an excellent job. God bless you, my friend. Let's stay connected.
Stay connected, Perry. God bless you real good.
Thank you.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
At Kelly's Automotive Service,
being good stewards of what God has entrusted to us
is at the core of our business.
We believe what we do matters.
Every interaction, every transaction is another opportunity
to bring Christ's values into the marketplace.